University Alumni Association in Bangladesh. We have Japanese Alumni Association of Bhutan. We have Mombusho Scholars Association of India, Japanese University Alumni Association of Nepal, Mixed Alumni Association of Pakistan, Japanese Graduates Alumni Association of Sri Lanka. I guess I kind of like, took everybody's name. We have Alumni Association representative from Afghanistan later towards the second technical session in the symposium today. We'll wait for that. It is my privilege to be before you as your Master of Ceremony today. I think I introduced her already, but I want to introduce again. I'm Savitri Sapkota, a member of the Japanese University Alumni Association in Nepal. If we look at the history of SAFJUAA convenings, I believe this is the 10th gathering we are attending today. There's a little bit of confusion between 10th and 11th, but I think our historical documents demonstrate that this is the 10th one. This year, the theme of the symposium is Japan and South Asia in the 21st century. Due to everyone's busy schedules, we are conducting this symposium virtually. We know that in the past, most of the convenings were held in person. And as you all know, we used to do multiple activities during the convenings that also includes Japanese speech and language context. Member countries always take turns in hosting the SAFJUAA meetings. Nepal hosted the SAFJUAA meeting back in 2016, and we are pleased to host it this year as well. Without further ado, we would like to extend a warm welcome to all our chief guests, guest of honors, dignitaries, presidents, vice presidents, general secretaries, and all the executive members from all the member countries of SAFJUAA, members, and the ladies and gentlemen who had joined us today, expressing solidarity, strengthening the networking, and celebrating the ties between South Asia and Japan. We extend a special welcome to the dignitaries from Bhutan who had joined SAFJUAA recently. Please allow me to briefly walk you through today's symposium schedule. For the first half an hour, we have a very brief, small formal session, followed by the technical sessions. We have two technical sessions, one before and another after the break. Each technical session will feature 5 to 6 presenters, one from each SAFJUAA member countries. I think we all have the schedule in front of us. To commence the inaugural formal session of SAFJUAA's Virtual Symposium 2023, let's acknowledge the presence and extend a warm welcome to our chief guest, guest of honors, and other esteemed personalities joining us today in this Zoom link. First, I would like to welcome the organizing president and chair of the SAFJUAA Virtual Symposium 2023, President of Japanese University Alumni Association of Nepal, Dr. Pravin Shrestha.
Namaste, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Pravin. Now, let us welcome the chief guest of this symposium. I think I see him here, Joint Secretary and Division Chief, South Asia Division, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Government of Nepal, Mr. Ram Prasad Subedi.
I heard somehow he had a problem with his health, so he is probably attending a bit later. So instead, there is already, I think, our guest of honor. So
okay, that's perfect. Let's move ahead. So now we have our guest of honor, Mr. Maniratna Sharma, Director on behalf of Nepal SAARC Secretariat, Kathmandu.
Yes, he's already here. I can see him, but
all right. Yeah, thank you. Let's acknowledge. Thank you, sir, for your presence today in this symposium. So we also have, our representative of Embassy of Japan in Kathmandu, Nepal, Information and Cultural Secretary, Ms. Sato Mayuko. Yeah. I think we heard from her very briefly earlier as well. I would also like to acknowledge all the presidents of all the SAFJUAA members. Dr. M.A.M. Yahia Khandokar, President, Japanese University Alumni Association in Bangladesh. Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
morning.
Yeah, my sincere apology if I mispronounce the dignitary's name. I'm kind of, learning to pronounce it well, but in case, Mr. Nima Gelchen, Vice President, Japan Alumni Association of Bhutan, JAB.
Kuzu Sampo, namaste to one and all.
Thank you. I don't know if Dr. Ashok Jain, President, Mombuso Scholars Association of Nepal, Association of India, Mozai, are you here, sir?
Probably not yet.
Yep, I don't see him either. So we will acknowledge his presence when he joins us. Similarly, Dr. Zabta Khan Sinwari, President, Mixed Alumni Association of Pakistan. I can see him.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
Thank you, sir. Similarly, Dr. Sunil Jayantha Nawaratne, President, Japanese Graduates Alumni Association of Sri Lanka. Yep, thank you, sir. So as I mentioned earlier, we will also have the representative of Japanese University Alumni in Afghanistan later towards the second technical session. So if I miss our key dignitaries who are here today with us, please know that we value your presence in today's symposium. So without wasting any time, I would like to invite Dr. Pravin Shrestha, the organizing president and chair of this inaugural session, for a welcome speech. I kindly request you to keep your speech within 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Savitri, for nicely conducting and starting this program. Well, once again, namaste, good morning, ohayou gozaimasu to all our respected dignitaries and guests and participants, especially guest of honor, Mr. Mani Ratna Sharma, representative from the SAC Secretariat in Kathmandu, Nepal. Similarly, all the presidents and executives from different SAFJUAA state members and representative from the Embassy of Japan, Ms. Tatu Mayoko, and all my colleagues of Yuan, participants from Nepal and abroad. Well, once again, warm greetings to you all on behalf of the organizing committee. And once again, I would like to welcome you all to this auspicious gathering today on behalf of the organizing committee, on behalf of Yuan, and on behalf of Nepal. As you all know, after 6 or 7 years, we are starting this SAFJUAA meeting again because of some practical difficulties during COVID pandemic. We are not being able to organize and host this meeting. There was a long gap of almost 6 years. So again, this time we ventured to start it. And taking the advantage of this virtual technology, we have decided to go virtually this time. And thank you very much for attending. Well, a little bit about history of SAFJUAA, as Dr. Savitri has already mentioned. It was started in Nepal 2005. Then it was organized and hosted in several countries, namely India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal. And this is the fourth time that Nepal is hosting, this time virtually, and in 2005, 10, and 16, it was physical meeting in Nepal. Previously, we were only 5 countries, but now this time we have 6. Once again, many thanks to our friends from Bhutan. We are also expected to have a friend from Afghanistan this afternoon. Probably he is preparing to join us. And once again, thank you very much for your time. And once again, let's go ahead together in the days and years to come, along with our friends and our patrons from Japan. Once again, many thanks to Embassy of Japan and many thanks to all the member societies of SAFJUAA. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pravin. So I think we don't have our chief guest, Mr. Ram Prasad Subedi, with us here. So let's move on to the next schedule. Dr. Jeevan, do we have the recorded message ready to play? If not, I'll move to the next one.
I don't know. Dr. Parvin, do you have? Or Satu-san has?
Yeah, so while we're
Uh,
figuring out the recorded message, maybe we can move to the next, like, the speaker, and we'll come to the recorded one just to save our time. Does that sound okay? Yeah, thank you. So next, I would like to let me invite the guest of honor for this virtual symposium 2023 today, Mr. Maniratna Sharma, director on behalf of Nepal, representing the SARC Secretariat, Kathmandu, Nepal. Mr. Sharma, can you hear me?
He is joining now.
I saw him earlier. I saw
Yeah,
his message as well.
He was earlier, but he just admitted again. Please once again.
Yeah, Maniratna sir, can you hear us?
okay, we'll go ahead.
Yeah, we can hear you now, sir. I would like to invite you to address, like, this symposium with your kind words. Thank you.
SAFJUAA has joined from Delhi.
So while we are fixing the audio of Maniratna sir, I would like to welcome Dr. Ashok Jain, President, Mambuso Scholars Association of India, Mozai. Dr. Jain,
Gozaimasu, everyone.
Ohayou gozaimasu. Thank you so much for joining. I would like to go back to Maniratna sir. Maniratna sir, can you hear me? Okay, looks like there is some technical glitches. So maybe if we are ready with the recorded message from the Embassy of Japan, the recorded message from His Excellency Ambassador of Japan, Mr. Kikuta Yutaka, Japanese Embassy in Kathmandu. Unfortunately, he couldn't attend the symposium today, but it's great to have his message shared with us. Dr. Jeevan or Dr. Pravin, could you please assist with the recorded message?
Yes, Dr. Savitri, thank you very much. We have received the message, recorded message from His Excellency Ambassador of Japan, but there seems to be, since it is a recorded message, it seems there is some technical difficulties. Maybe we should be able to play it very soon. I'm just trying to retrieve it. Okay, till then, shall we go ahead, not wasting much time? Probably it may take a few minutes more.
Okay, that sounds good, Dr. Pravin. So maybe I would like to check again if Maniratna Sharma sir can hear us. You are unmuted, so please. Yeah, I'm kind of going back and forth between the recorded message and Maniratna Sharma sir's remarks, because these are the two in our schedules before we begin our technical session. It looks like we need to wait or need to fix the technical glitches. Perhaps Dr. Jeevan, maybe you are helping at the back end, I guess, helping Maniratna Sharma sir to fix this sound issue. So without wasting the time, shall we just move ahead with the technical session? Because I can see,
Yes.
yeah, I can see some of our presenters are like, really kind of looking forward, and they have competing priorities in this morning.
Once they're ready, so you can invite them.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. As I mentioned earlier, the technical session, we have 2 technical sessions. We see. Thank you, Maniratna sir. Let's fix the issue. We'll come to you again in after some time. So each technical session will have 5 to 6 presenters. The presenters mainly include the presidents, vice president, or general secretaries from each SAFJUAA member country. I kindly request all the presenters to be ready with your presentation. Though we would love to proceed in alphabetical order this morning, we will make an exception for 2 presenters who have graciously joined us despite their competing priorities, and they will present first. Each presenter will have 8 minutes for their presentation, followed by 2-minute question and answer session. For questions, I would like to request everybody to type your question in the chat box. And at the end of the presentation, we will select 2 questions to be addressed by the respective presenters. Please remember to clearly mark who the question is directed to in your chat box along with your question. So let's begin the first technical session. The first technical session we kind of themed as relation with Japan. Please let me invite our first presenter of this session. It's from Pakistan, Professor Jafta Sinwari. He is the president of MAP. Professor, please, over to you.
Thank you very much. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Yes, we do.
Thank you very much. And I'm really grateful, first of all, Robin, wonderful work. I really appreciate the way you handle it. You can count these few seconds from my time also, but I would like to thank the whole Nepalese team. They really did wonderful work. What I'm going to do is just to explain a little bit what we are doing in Pakistan Alumni Association. With the Japanese alumni, with the embassy, with other stakeholders in Japan. This is our team that we have, the president and rest of the team. What we have is, just for your information, we have 350 members, and this includes a lot of people from agriculture, engineering, and then, of course, IT, natural sciences, life sciences, etc. We have a clear-cut vision and mission. Incidentally, I was the first president when we had this alumni association established back in 1995. I came from graduation from Kyoto University, and soon after we established MAP. Our vision is inspire alumni, lifelong ties, and bind through involvement, partnership, visibility, volunteerism, and excellence. And the mission is we have to promote friendship, understanding, goodwill, not only with Pakistan and Japan, but with SAFJUAA also. I would recommend that we work together, irrespective of political issues that we have sometimes. Let's work together, and we can have it even physical presence in near future. Core values, like every organization, we have for own self. Being graduate from Japan, which is an ideal country for many people, it's our second home. We own it, the peace and loyalty, integrity, diversity, curiosity, continuous improvement, respect, and service. And then the objectives that we have for alumni, which is a networking with Japanese, Pakistan alumni, and all alumni friends globally from Japan. A knowledge exchange, we do it, and I recommend that now we are at the second half of our life, or at the end of our life. Let's exchange students, let's work together, let's write publication, etc. Cultural exchange and collaboration, I would be strongly requesting all of you, let's work together. Little bit scenery of Pakistan. We are the only country, I will call it, that stretches from 0 meter to 8,611 meter. Nepal is above us. Then we have, Karachi port, etc. This was established in 1996, and incidentally, I was the first president and now the last president too. We have several other organizations in Pakistan that we work together along with MAP. That is the Pakistan-Japan Cultural Association, local chapters, etc. We have membership benefits. If somebody becomes a member, they have access to vast network of professional researchers, not only in Pakistan, but we have connections globally with alumni, and we send our students, we work together, organize events, etc., scholarship, funding, and career development. Activities like you all may be having, we have JLPT, Japanese Language Proficiency Test, every twice a year. We have bonankais, we have parties, we have monthly meetings, we have, we are really very busy, and we find time. And of course, SAFJUAA, we hosted it, we remain president of that, and I will be telling you a little bit about that. This was the recent oath-taking ceremony where we work with Japanese embassy, some photographs. We have a calendar exhibition every year, Japanese calendar. We went to very many universities. We are organize it throughout the country and many universities. This is Qaid-e-Azam University, which is the best university of Pakistan. And then we have a lot of media exposure too. We publish, we send it so that there's a goodwill gesture between Japan and Pakistan developed. We got a lot of donations from through Japan Foundation and other organizations. This was recently a huge book donation from Japan Foundation, which was delivered by His Excellency, the Ambassador of Japan in Pakistan, to the Vice Chancellor of Qaid-e-Azam University. I remain the Secretary General of Pakistan Academy of Sciences, so we organize several technical, symposium together with MAP, with our academy, and with other international. This was like ecosystem restoration, One Health and pandemic after COVID-19. Shinzo Abe, when he expired, we went to the embassy and we recorded those messages. We have Bonenkai every year, as I said. We have Shinnenkai. We have film festivals. We organize storytelling kind of exhibition, art exhibition for young children. We go to schools and colleges, and the ambassador, JICA, MAP, we all work together to, have a kind of a bridging between Japan and Pakistan. We are establishing a proposed Japanese garden in Islamabad, which is with the help of Japan Foundation. We teach Ikebana through our alumni to the various ladies in Pakistan, how they do it. We always have a welcome and farewell parties for the ambassadors that are coming and going. We celebrated recently the 15th MAP, establishment in Pakistan, and this was covered by media a lot. And whenever Japan is in trouble, they help Pakistan, and and I think we should be doing across SAFJUAA also. This was when they had, this affection of earthquake and tsunami. We went on the streets and we had a peaceful kind of show of, solidarity with Japanese colleagues and friends. And this was covered with media both in Pakistan and Japan. And we really had a lot of, students across the country that they came and they celebrated. They sort of showed solidarity. Whenever our alumni get some award or something, like Nagoya University had a big award to our former president, one of our presidents. So we celebrated that. We had a big party. This I wanted to show you. We organized an international conference under SAFJUAA banner when I was the president, which was Greener, Safer South Asia. This was in Pakistan, and many friends came from SAFJUAA country. And I would be recommending that let's have it again, a sort of a hybrid, physical and virtual. We can work together. This again is covered in many. Thank you very much. I tried to come minimum time possible so that Savitri doesn't stop me. And I'm ready. I give 2-3 minutes extra to you for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Zapta. That's really kind of you. Like hearing you, it's like kind of a nostalgic for myself as well. I felt like I'm among the international students in Japan. So thank you so much. And looking at and thank you so much for keeping with the time, the given time. I'm looking at the chat box in case there are any questions right now dedicated or directed to you. Looks like there is none. Maybe the presentation is very crystal clear to everyone. Even though we will move to the next presenters, if there are any questions to Professor Japta, please write it in the chat box. Next, we will move on to the next presenter from Sri Lanka. We kind of are making an exception to the alphabetical order that we would normally prefer to go. So Dr. Sunil Jayanta Nawaratne, he's the president, Japanese Graduates Alumni Association of Sri Lanka. Over to you, sir.
Hi, thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me the time because I have one more meeting. Instead of our alumni activities, I thought of introducing a 21st century human capital equation and Japanese experience. Because with my Japanese background, I was there nearly 10 years. I did my master's and PhD, and I learned a lot. And in this model, I have used that knowledge and experience to explain 21st century human capital. We have introduced a new model called KSAM, Total Human Capital Development Model. It has been accepted by the NEC, National Education Commission. It was developed by me, Professor Ponnam Peruma and Nanakara. So this KSAM model, 21st century need KSAM. What do you mean KSAM? If you want to become a human capital, we should have knowledge, both theoretical and practical. The skills, what do they know is the knowledge. What can they do is the skills. That is 21st century skills, I will explain. Then affectives, attitudes and values. This is known, but my addition from Japanese experience is the mindset and paradigm. From Keio University, my professor Soji Murata is the one who introduced this paradigm concept. So based on that, so we expanded our model as KSAM, and today we need people who have all four areas. Mindset and paradigm. How do they pursue the world? Lens through which they see the world is the key. So therefore, knowledge, what do they know? Skills, what can they do? Affectives, how do they think and behave? And how do they pursue the world is the key. So KSAM graduates are needed. So that is one of our important innovations based on my Japanese experience. Then fourth industrial revolution. Now we are just entering to the fifth industrial revolution. So we are past first, second, third. First one with the steam engine, then electricity, then computer, now internet and all these things, then robotics. So in fourth industrial revolution, the key words are artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things, autonomous vehicles, biotechnology, nanotechnology, all these things are matters. So if our people, or the students, or the graduates, or the professors, even the top management, ministers, secretaries are not aware with this new technology, they become obsolete. So if you want to become a human capital, so we have to upskill and reskilling on these subjects. Then 21st century curriculum has to be totally changed, not the present curriculum. Therefore, outcome-based, fast-changing environment, integrated curriculum, research-driven, not the teacher-centered, but the learner and learning-centered, and active learning, high-order thinking, collaboration learning, multimedia usage. All these things are matters of the new curriculum. Then, if you want to be a skillful person in 2025 by next year, so we have to have analytical skills, active learning, problem solving skills, critical thinking. All these skills are needed. So all these new skills are needed to be a successful person in the 21st century or even fourth industrial revolution time. So these are the things you can read later. I'm not going to explain since my time is limited. So therefore, Please remember, if you want to develop human capital, all these things, new skills have to be created. Then the imagination. At the same time, innovation is very important. Innovation distinguishes between leader and follower, as Steve Jobs. So our education system never allow students to innovate. So they want us to rewrite the same thing they learn. But imagination and innovation is the key for development. All our third world countries should understand we should allow students to imagine and think. Therefore, imagination is more important than the knowledge. So while knowledge defines all we currently know and understand, imagination points to all we might yet to discover and take. On the other way, an essential aspect of the creativity is not being afraid to fail. So allow students to fail, try and again. Unfortunately, our present education system doesn't promote the imagination, no to fail. So this is very important if you want to be successful. Then we have developed a 21st century and fourth industrial revolution ready human capital equation. I developed this equation last year when I was the Director General of National Education Institute, NIE. So 21st century human capital, CHC, equal 3R plus 3L plus 2Cs and SDL. So if you remember this equation, very easily you can explain what is 21st century human capital or fourth industrial revolution ready human capital. So 21st CHC equal 21st century human capital. What is 3R? At present, our education system is promoting students with 3R. What do you mean 3R? Reading, writing, arithmetic, and yes. Reading, writing, arithmetic, and subject knowledge. This is the exact production we do in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, all these things. Because our traditional education system promotes 3R, reading, writing, arithmetic, and theoretical knowledge. But if you want to become a successful person in the 21st century, on the top of that, 3R is essential. We have to have 3L. What is 3L? I will explain. Then you have to have 2 Cs, character and citizenship. 3L stand for learning skills, life skills, and literacy skills. And SDL stand for self-directed learning. So now let's see what are the things we have had. Of course, we have 3R, that is equal to landphone. Landphone can do only the dialing of the numbers. But if you produce continuously landphones, there's no mark. Today we need smartphones. Likewise, so we have to produce smart people, smart human capital. So how are we going to do that? So for that, we have to add 3 L's, 21st century skills, equal to learning skills, literacy skills, and life skills. These is 3 L's. Under the 3 L's, learning skills, we have 4 C's, critical thinking and problem solving, creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship, then collaboration and teamwork, and communication. I'm not going to explain all these things. You can learn from internet and all. So are we developing this thing? Critical thinking? No. Creativity, innovation? No. Because we learn the subject through the teacher and we vomit in the exam. Through this process, we cannot develop this critical thinking, creativity, innovation, entrepreneurship, etc. We want collaboration and teamwork. Those people are learning together, not together, but alone. Then literacy skills. 3R also literacies, but on the top of that 3R, we have to have information literacy, media literacy, technological literacy, financial literacy, digital literacy, inclusive literacy, scientific literacy, etc. There are so many new literacies has to be learned. So there are 7 literacies. On the top of that, life skills, flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social and emotional learning. Understanding self, managing self, understanding others, managing relationships, responsible decision making, all these things. Now you can understand under 3 years, there are 20 skills you have to develop if you want to become a human capital. Even for you and me, without these things, we cannot be a successful leader. So therefore, friends, please focus on these 3 years. That is very important. So if you are a successful person because of these skills, you are successful. Then character and citizenship. Another important thing is character and citizenship skills, 2 C's. So character and citizenship education is deliberated effort to cultivate civility, ethical behavior, self. All these things are well developed in Japan. Therefore, we have to learn these things. Now you can see what are the character related things: forgiveness, citizenship, compassion, honesty, all these things. So I'm not going to explain, you can learn. Then citizenship, nation before community and society before self. This is not there. Our present education system promote community. Ethnic community is more important than the nation, or the self is important than the society. Therefore, nation before community and society before self is important. So we have to cultivate this thing if you want to develop a 21st century leader.
I'm sorry to
then
interrupt
the
you.
self-directed learner. You have to be a self-directed learner. The dynamic environment is there. So let's make self-directed learning, update yourself. Then what to learn and how to learn is very important, and be an independent learner. So now you can see this. If you want to become a human capital, you have to have 3R, reading, writing, arithmetic, then 3L, learning skills, life skills, and literacy skills, that 20 skills. Then character and citizenship, values, attitudes, and thinking about the society and the country, then self-directed learning. Then finally, we can combine 3R with the KSAM. K is knowledge, knowledge equal to 3R. Our present education system or human resource development system has been defined limit to 3R or knowledge. On the top of that, we have to have skills. For that, we have to develop 3 Ls. Then affectives or character and citizenship. And if you want to update yourself, mindset and paradigm, you have to be a self-directed learner. So now you can see the market is asking for KSAM graduate for 3R plus 3L plus 2 Cs and SDL, but we are producing knowledge alone or 3R graduates. So we have to change the curriculum, teaching, learning, and assessment. All these things are very important. So then we can produce, even assessment has to be formative and summative both. So formative assessment is important. Then based on that, we are in the old paradigm, so we have to go to the new paradigm. So teacher-centered to learner-centered, knowledge to KSAM, exam-oriented paper, pencil-based to inquiry-based, modular-based, credit-based, semester-based, flexible skill-based, all these things.
Dr. Navaratne,
Active learning.
I'm
Surface
sorry
learning
to,
deeper learning. Yes.
I'm sorry to disturb you.
That's all.
Sorry to
Please,
interrupt you.
If you have any questions, you can ask questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much for understanding. And I hate it like interrupting while the presentation is going on, but yeah, I have to. Thank you
This is
so
my
much.
last question. Yes.
Okay, perfect. This is such an interesting presentation. I can see like, you know, our colleagues are asking for the presentation. If you could share it with them, like, you know, after the technical session today. I'm kind of looking at the questions, if there are any directed to you. Yeah, Dr. Pravin said he will share the recorded presentation. That also includes this presentation, the slides as well. So please type your question, anything in the chat box. If you have any or any comments that you would like to kind of, you know, read it in this symposium on behalf of you. So I think we will take a small pause here on the technical session because our guest of honor is with us today and he is ready to deliver his speech. We had some technical glitches earlier prior to the technical session. Dr. Navaratne, can you like, you know, exit from the slideshow mode and yeah, thank you. So I would like to invite our guest of honor, Mr. Maniratna Sharma, sir. He's the director and he is attending today on behalf of Nepal SARC Secretariat Office in Kathmandu. Maniratna, sir, over to you. We hope we can hear you now.
Yes, thank you, madam.
Thank you.
I'm here heard now, right? So thank you so much, Savitri madam. And first of all, my apologies for the technical problems and inconveniences caused due to this. Let me deliver my remarks. Dr. Pavin Shrestha, President of Japanese Universities Alumni Association, Nepal, SAFJUAA, and organizing chair of the program. Distinguished representative from the Embassy of Japan, Information and Cultural Secretary, Madam. Distinguished dignitaries, guests, participants, and alumni, good afternoon to you all. It gives me a distinct honor and privilege for me to attend the 11th meeting and virtual symposium of South Asian Federation of Japanese Universities Alumni Association, SAFJUAA, this morning. At the outset, I would like to express my sincere gratitude and thanks to the Japanese Universities Alumni Association for organizing and hosting this important program and providing me with the opportunity to take part in and deliver my remarks. I also wish to specially thank the organizing president and chair, Dr. Pavin Shrestha, and Vice President, Professor Dr. Khadga Keshi, for taking the lead towards the successful organization of today's program. On behalf of the SARC Secretariat and on my own, I wish for every success of today's virtual symposium. Mr. Chair, the theme of the conference, entitled Japan and South Asia, assumes special significance in the context of today's interrelated and complex interdependent regional and global scenario. I believe that the country presentations and deliberations that we'll have among the seasoned experts, academics, and intellects during the technical sessions of the conference on relations with Japan and future collaboration with Japan will provide us with the opportunity to further enrich our understanding and suggest the ways for strengthening the cooperation and collaboration at national, regional, and people's level. This will not only bring the Japanese universities alumni together and provide the opportunity to hear and share the insights and experiences in various important areas, but also be very significant to further enhance the SARC-Japan cooperation and collaboration as well. In this context, Mr. Chair, let me briefly mention about the SARC-Japan cooperation, which I believe will be relevant to this important forum. Mr. Chair, the SARC-Japan cooperation began with the signing of a memorandum of understanding establishing a SARC-Japan Special Fund, SJSF, in 1993. The 14th SARC Summit, held in New Delhi in 4 April 2007, welcomed Japan as an observer to SARC. In 2015, the government of Japan decided to implement the Youth Exchange Program as Genesis, Japan's SARC network program of people-to-people exchange. Since then, the government of Japan has been organizing Genesis programs every year. For the years 2023 and 2024, the program is also scheduled to be organized well as previous years. Through this program, every year, between a significant number of students and young adults from the SARC member states get the opportunity to understand Japan's society, history, diverse culture, politics, economics, and diplomatic relations. The Genesis also enables to promote participants' capacity building in a manner that would. Mr. Chair, as we are very much connected with each other by multiple ways, our joint efforts, small or big, in any field or in any direction, could play a vital role in generating impetus in furthering cooperation and coordination between and among ourselves for the benefit of the peoples in our region. I conclude my remarks while thanking once again to the organizer, Japanese Universities Alumni Association, for providing this wonderful opportunity. Once again, I wish the symposium a high success. I thank you all. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maniratna sir. Thank you so much for making this happen and your time and your wonderful speech. So next, we move on to the recorded message from our ambassador, from Japanese ambassador, Embassy of Japan in Kathmandu. So Dr. Pravin, would you please facilitate the kind of, to run through the recorded message? Thank you.
Yes. Well, I would like to share the screen that contains the message from His Excellency Ambassador of Japan to Nepal in Kathmandu, Nepal. So I believe you can see my screen here. So I am going to play the message of His Excellency Ambassador. Okay.
Dr. Pravin, we can't hear the sound.
You cannot hear?
I can't. I guess the audience as well couldn't.
Yeah, there is
Can-
no
Yes,
sound.
now.
There is no sound.
There is some technical problem, so we cannot hear him.
Is this audible or not? No?
We heard briefly in the beginning and then
No, sir.
no sound.
I'm playing it again and again with the
Yeah.
full volume. I will play again.
Yeah, no sound.
No?
Yeah.
Well, I think let's continue with our technical session till we fix it again.
Yeah.
Dr. Savitri, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so sorry about these technical glitches. It's all unavoidable and we all understand that. Dr. Pravin, would you please unshare your screen? Yeah, thank
Yes.
you.
So
Yeah, so we also received an apology message from our chief guest of this symposium, Joint Secretary and Division Chief, South Asia Division, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Government of Nepal, Mr. Ram Prasad Sabedi. He's feeling slightly a bit under the weather, so he couldn't attend and deliver his speech among us. But we wish him a speedy recovery. So let's move on with the technical session. We are at the third presentation, and for the third presentation, I would like to request our speaker from Bangladesh, Professor Dr. M.A.M. Yahia Khandokar, Japanese University Alumni Association in Bangladesh. Joab, over to you, sir.
Okay. Can you see, please? The screen share?
Yes, we do. Do you want to put that in the presentation mode?
Okay, let me. Just a minute. Okay. Now, okay?
Perfect. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Good morning. Ohayou gozaimasu. This is Yahya Khandokar, President Joab from Bangladesh. Honorable Organizing President and Chair, Dr. Pravin Shrestha, Honorable Chief Guest, Special Guest, Guest of Honor, dear participant. I like to talk about the Japanese University Alumni Association in Bangladesh. Actually, we started this job was established in 2000. We are now 23 years old now, actually. Okay, we have some specific mission and vision actually. Japanese University Alumni Association in Bangladesh was established in 2000 with the main vision to promote friendship between Bangladesh and Japan through the sharing and exchange of culture, knowledge, and technology. You know very well. These are the specific objectives. I am not interested to talk all these things, as we have in different countries, we have the same type of organization. Whatever we are doing, almost same in Bangladesh as well. These are the objectives. Actually, I would like to talk about what we have actually. Presently, we have total 1,005 members, job members. Among them, live members 7,700, general member 281, associate member 24. Actually, in Bangladesh, more than 5,000 PhD, MS, or undergraduate degree obtained so far from Japan. But all the people are not the member. We cannot reach to all the members who obtained the degree from Japan. We are trying our best. Okay, job members on the basis of degree. If you see this pie diagram, almost 85% job members, they obtain PhD degree, 10% master degree, and undergraduate only 5%. What about the job members on the basis of profession? About 70% are university teacher, 10% medical doctor, 5% scientist, 6% engineer, 3% dentist, and 6% others. That means almost all professionals are the job member in our country. That means whatever we are contributing in our country, a lot of development so far been in Bangladesh. Yes, the people who obtain their degree from Japan, they can contribute in our country as well. Okay, if we just show on the basis of subject, agriculture about 40%, biological science 25%, physical science 20%, medical science 8%, and humanities 7%. Again, I want to draw your attention. That means in our country, all professionals are contributing to develop our country actually. Okay, what about the activities of Japanese? What about our activities here in Bangladesh? Yes, we have the Japanese language school. In Bangladesh, presently, more than 100 Japanese language schools are working, but our Joab Japanese school is the best one in our country. That's true. We have offering the different types of language courses in 5 level, short course, long course, in 4 level. And presently, today, we have 250 students in our Joab Japanese school actually. We have 4 language teachers, 1 of Japanese lady, and other 3 Bangladeshi nationalists. They are teaching in our language school. Yes, we are organizing the Japanese language proficiency test every year 2 times, July and December. Last July, 5,500 students took part in the JLPT. And for December, registration is ongoing. We hope this time it will be about 6,000. Okay, we are trying our best to establish the Japanese Cultural Center in Bangladesh. As you know, almost all the developed countries, they have the cultural center in Bangladesh, American Cultural Center, British Cultural Center. That is why we talked with the ambassador in Bangladesh, and he agreed with us. Initially, on 26th of this month, we are inaugurating Japanese Cultural Center at Zoa premises. We have 4,000 square feet premises. We are changing it as the Zoa Japanese Cultural Center. For this purpose, we received about $66,216 US from Japan Embassy in Bangladesh as the grassroots project to modify our Zoa office as the Zoa Cultural Center. Okay, we have different types of collaboration. Yes, we are working for IKE. We have the Ikebana Association. We are working with Ikebana Association as well. We have some MU with the Japanese language school. They are in Japan, more than 10 language schools. We have collaboration with the Department of Japanese Studies of Dhaka University. We are working together. Yes, we are organizing the mixed orientation program. Every year, a lot of students are obtaining the mixed scholarship. in collaboration with the Japan Embassy, we are organizing the orientation program for the mixed scholar who are going to Japan. We are organizing the education seminar in different universities, different places. For example, in 2019, we organized a education seminar at Jahangirnagar University, and another 2021, we organized education seminar at Dhaka University. In connection to searching the scholarship in Japan, 2 education advisors are working in Bangladesh. 1 education advisor working at Japan Embassy in Bangladesh, and other education advisor, she is attached with job office. She is sitting in our office, and every day a lot of students are coming to our job office, and she is advising how to obtain the mixed scholarship or something like that. Japanese life and culture we are sharing. Yes, we are organizing the Japanese language speech contest every year. Yes, we are also participating the SAFJUAA meeting and speech contest. We know in 2014 we organized SAFJUAA meeting in Dhaka, and a lot of friends from different countries attended this meeting. Moreover, usually we attend in SAFJUAA meeting earlier, which were held in different South Asian countries. As you know, for COVID-19 last 3-4 years, we cannot arrange this program actually. 2014, we organized it, and we cannot attend that. But I am very lucky, this time Nepal is organizing this program virtually. Okay, whatever we have, the asset of JOAP. Actually, we are trying our best to establish our Japanese our JOAP as the self-sustainable organization. That is why in 2014 we bought a 4,000 square feet space area in Dhaka, in center of Dhaka. So that is our JOAP office, and we are inaugurating that office as the JOAP Japanese Cultural Center. We have another apartment in Dhaka that is also 1,150. So that is why we have our permanent space area. We have 2 permanent apartment of JOA. It is not the rental, it is our property actually. Okay, I am taking the opportunity to acknowledge Embassy of Japan, Japan Foundation. We are closely working with Japan Embassy in Bangladesh. We are working with Japan Foundation and Japan Foundation. Thanks for your patience. That's all.
Thank you so much, Professor Khandokar. This is really interesting to listen to you and the various activities that you, on behalf of JOAP, conducting in Bangladesh. Some of them looks very familiar to what we are doing here. Some of them are quite new. It's so good to learn from your alumni association in Bangladesh. So let's move on to the next presentation. I'm still looking at the chat box. There are no questions or any comments yet. So let's move to the next presentation. I would like to invite our dignitaries from Bhutan, Mr. Pema Galpo. He is the General Secretary of Japan Alumni Association of Bhutan. Mr. Galpo, over to you. Are you with us? Yeah. In the meantime, while he's sharing his slide, please type any comments that you would like to share it with the dignitaries today, any question for our presenters in the chat box. Looks like this screen that is being shared is from Professor Khandokar. Would you like to unshare your screen first? Okay, yeah, thank you so much. So we are inviting our speaker from Bhutan now to do the presentation. Then next in the order, we have the presentation from India, Dr. Ashok Jain. And then the last one in this technical session is Dr. Pravin from Nepal. So that's how the order goes. Yeah, so now we are waiting for Mr. Galpo to share his screen and deliver his speech. We can see his screen, so I think it's working.
You have to share the screen.
Yeah, we see your doc folder, not the presentation itself.
Okay. Okay, do you see the presentation now?
No,
No,
it's just your document folder. We can
You
see.
go to the green
Oh.
one and share the screen.
Okay.
Just open it.
Okay.
Open it. Open it and
Yeah.
go to the share screen.
No rush, please take your time.
Yeah, sorry. Stop sharing screen. Okay. Share screen Yeah, do you see the screen?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Do you see my presentation?
yes, it's ready to go. Please go for
Okay,
it.
thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much for opportunity given to us. And I would like to introduce the Japan Alumni Association of Bhutan. It's an independent organization formed by ex-participant of JICA training program, and a scholar who've been to Japan for long-term study and short-term study. Our vision is to be a driving association for studying and fostering the professional services through relationship with Japan. Our mission is to promote expert and professional service through competent and personal delegate our stakeholder. And our relation to keep and cooperation between Japan and Bhutan, and to promote socio-cultural relationship between Japan and Bhutan. That is particular economic and environmental related. So annually, we by the support of JICA, we do a lot of annual program. It is an annual based program, starting from the impact talk. We provide impact talk for scholars who've been to Japan, and currently two type of scholarship is provided to Japan, to Bhutan is GDS and a Max Scholar. But the Max Scholar is particular for education education sectors, and the JD is for sector. People get this type of opportunity. Now, what we do is that we have an annual based program. One program is nutrition and food security program that has been annually conducted by the scholar and the member funded by JICA and the Japan government. Another program we do is organic compost and waste management program. And another is networking and culture trip to Bhutan. The overseas Japanese working in Bhutan and the member who organize the culture trip around the countryside. One thing we do awareness program on JICA and Japan project that is implemented in our country. Another program we do is fire safety and prevention program, which is our annual-based program that is contributed by the ex-participant of JICA training program or scholar who've been to Japan and learned the knowledge and skill. These programs are formed based on skill and knowledge they had gained only from Japan. That's why we are judiciously, wisely educating the Japan skill and knowledge that has gained from Japan. We during Japan Friendship Week, we participate for the culture program, kind of activities that start from blood donation or cleaning campaign and waste management. Another thing that we have a program is JICA Alumni Association for SAC Forum. That is annual based program, and we Bhutan 1 hosted this program, and this time will be in Nepal. So we are going to Nepal for this program seminar. So the Max and JD Scholar is for university-based scholar that is provided by Japan. So we have a lot of members now joining job member. We have around 300 members, maybe a very small number comparing South Asia country, but since our country population is very small, we have a small number, but we have around 300 members, including long-term study and short-term study. So we have a max and JD scholar provided by Japan. Those students or those scholars are joining now as a job member. What they do, they contribute our annual job program, and we organize impact talk through them, what they have learned, knowledge skill from Japan. And we collaborate with, they collaborate with the job annual activities. And we have a knowledge exchange program. And we do a pre-departure program for those who go to Japan for study. These are the glimpse of picture that we job members are being conducted, what they have learned. And those activities are conducted by the people who have been to Japan only. So we entertain their knowledge, what they have learned from Japan, the knowledge and skill. Okay, we do climate change and mitigation program. We do waste management program. We do organic decompose program through vegetable waste. And another program that we have as a mini grant, that is very interesting, where the member start joining as a becoming interested to join a job member. It's a mini grant program. Annually, we provide 250,000 Ultam. Is our local currency to implement their knowledge and skill they have gained from Japan. So this is a project-based fund that is provided by job through JICA to the member through job. So we do a food and nutrition program in the country in Bhutan. So we always involve or participate for Japan Week that is celebrated annually on month of October in Bhutan. That is to keep collaboration with Japan and our country effectively and efficiently. So these are the glimpses of the picture that conducted by the people who have been to Japan and they have learned the knowledge and skill, the fire safety and prevention program that had learned from Japan. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Namaste. Thank you very much. Very short, but this time very short, and we'll try next time more than that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Savitri. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Galpo. Yeah, it's so good to hear. I kind of reiterate what Dr. Kesav was writing in the chat box. It's so good to hear from Bhutan, different activities that you've been conducting in Bhutan. Yeah, so let me check if there are any particular question directed to you until now. No, other than the very informative events, there is nothing in the chat box yet. Mr. Galpo, could you please unshare your screen so that we can continue with the next presentation?
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
You can stop sharing.
My network is very slow, so it's very taking time. Sorry for.
No problem at all. No problem. We completely understand the network issues. Yeah. So if you just go to
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Just go to the Zoom link, and there is the
Not yet.
button, and maybe it's on the top of your screen. Unshare.
Yes.
Stop sharing.
Stop sharing.
Okay.
On the top of the screen, you can see stop sharing. So can you click that?
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for technical input. Thank you very much, sir.
No, that's totally fine. Thank you so much. We all are learning, right? I think it's very wonderful to hear different activities and different plans that all the members of SAFJUAA countries, conducting in their respective countries. Now let's continue with the presentation. We have two more presentation in this first technical session, one from India and other from Nepal. So may I invite Dr. Ashok Jain. He's the president of Mombuso Scholars Association of India for his presentation. Wow, great screen background. Thank you.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. We can hear
can see
you.
this.
We can see your slides. Maybe it would be wonderful if you put it in the slide share mode.
Where is that?
It's the little kind of, you know, a button at the bottom of your computer. Yes, I think the one at the far end.
In the bottom,
Yes, yeah, the far end one.
right? Right?
Yeah, on your right. Yeah,
Yes.
no,
Here somewhere.
just right before your Zoom scale.
Yes, just a minute. I sort of.
It is sign of monitor.
Somewhere here, but can't see that. Anyway, can we
You
work
can
with
go
this?
from the menu slide so in top. Slideshow from slideshow. Not from view, slideshow, yeah.
Okay, right.
Just click on the
Slideshow.
slideshow. Yeah. And the third one.
Third one, present review.
Presenter.
Yeah. Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
And you can see the slide,
Yes.
but I should start from the first one, no?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let me start by saying good morning to all of you. And congratulate Juan for its anniversary. Well, friends, I will concentrate on the topic of India-Japan relations. I don't think it's necessary for me to describe the activities of MOSAI. They are common to all our friends: language, JLPT, EJU, counseling cell, seminars, and so on. But what I wish to do is to trace the relations along four trajectories: the political relations, the economic trade relations, strategic relations, and the soft relations. Now, soft relations really refer to culture, creating mutual understanding, friendship, sense of closeness. And this therefore includes education, research, people-to-people contacts, science and technology. In a sense, the next mandate is for soft relations, not for economic, political, or strategic relations. And I believe that MOSAI and most of our members are really dealing with soft relations. Now, India's soft relations with Japan have evolved in four stages. Quickly, the first stage is when the Buddhism in 8th century, very old. And I think this applies to most of our countries in this region, Buddhism. So Buddhism Connect was really because this famous temple in Nara, Udaiji, the eye-opening ceremony, which is done by a very honorable person, was done by an Indian priest
priest, Bodhisena. Now, at that point of time, Buddhism was the national religion in Japan, and something like 50% of Japanese population was involved in the construction of the temple and the establishment of the statue of Buddha. So 50% of people thought that, look, somebody from India, they didn't know India, but somebody from the land of Buddha had come and was given such a high priority. So there was an emotional attachment to the land of Buddha. I think it's very important to remember that 8th century, there was no concept of geography of India. For them, it was just land of Buddha, and the Japanese divided the whole world into 3 categories. One was Japan, which they knew. The second was China, which they knew. The third was just land of Buddha. Now that emotional attachment to the land of Buddha really is the beginning of the mutual understanding. Then gradually, when the Heian period, which is tranquil period in Japan, the priests in the temples, they started looking at the philosophical aspects of Buddhism, all sects of Buddhism, including some sects. So I think the emotional attachment then gradually became a kind of an intellectual, got an intellectual base. That was the second phase. The third phase, I'm still talking of the nature of mutual understanding and the context in which. The first context of mutual understanding was Buddhism, spiritualism. The second context was academic, philosophical. The third is very important because this is the Edo period, when there was a lot of trade by the Portuguese and the Dutch through the Southeast Asia, connecting Europe, India to Japan through Southeast Asia. Remember, Southeast Asia is now coming into the picture. Now, these products at the time were basically handicrafts, crafted products by artisans and so on. There's a pre-industrialized period. Now, the handcrafted products carry a lot of culture in it. So I think the so-called material culture got added into the sense of closeness or mutual understanding. So now we have 3 phases: the philosophical content, the academic content, the thinking content, and now the material culture content. So the sense of closeness, the mutual understanding, there were 3 types of contents in it. But the most interesting period is the third phase, when Japan was industrializing, modernizing and industrializing, Meiji period. Now this is when the spiritual and academic closeness went into the university system in Japan. The teaching of Indology, languages, and so on and so forth, they started in Japan. So friends, now this is historically, the mutual understanding has been built through philosophical contents, through ideas, through education, research, institutionalized through universities. So the universities became a key player in creating mutual understanding. And sure enough, even today we are seeing that mixed scholars, alumni from Japanese universities are key players in creating mutual understanding.
Right. No.
Sorry, I have to switch it off. Switch it off. Hello, sorry. Now, so historically, this has already happened. what difference did diplomatic relations make? And this is where we come to the contemporary period. Initially, of course, nothing much happened between India and Japan. India was still sort of struggling. Japan was also struggling. And we were a closed socialistic, and those are political issues I don't want to touch. But since 91, the relations between India and Japan started moving very rapidly along all the trajectory. The political relations became strong, the economic relations became strong. What about the soft relations? Now, soft relations was kind of basically connected with education. Next scholarships started. Japanese language training started. So basically, with the diplomatic relations, the soft relations were limited to, progress in soft relations was essentially limited to language, education, and by the side, something like Ikebana and so on also, they came in. But that was not the major thrust. The major thrust was really human resource. And this is where I think the present situation where the human resource becomes important has something to do with economic and trade relations. Because the number of Japanese companies in India have increased enormously. Big projects are coming, Shinkansen, industrial corridors. And therefore, there is a huge demand for Japanese language people. So sure enough, I mean, all of us are happy about it. But there is a major difference. And these are the differences. You see, since now this human resource is not necessarily for academic scholarly research, but more for, in a sense, technical people are required. So language is now, language teaching and learning is shifting more towards technical knowledge, technical people. In fact, even in MEF scholarship in India, there's now a separate slot. Some percentage of quota has shifted to technical colleges. Insofar as the higher studies are concerned, they are again concentrating on science and technology. The soft subjects like sociology, economics, philosophies are getting marginalized. And there is a huge focus on science and technology. In fact, there are young scientists, young science students are being taken to Japan. The context of culture is also shifting to more commercial and economic values. For example, the modern forms are becoming important. Anime, movies, Japanese movies, fashion products from Japan. Here, there is a lot of emphasis on Japanese cuisine. Japanese food is becoming popular. So I think the whole content of the soft relations is shifting away from academic and scholarly pursuit to more technical and in a sense utilitarian contexts. And I think this we have to take note of it, because in the next session, when we discuss the future I think we have to understand the shifting direction of soft relations.
Dr. Jain,
I've finished.
yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Would you please wrap up?
No.
Yeah, please.
So conclusion is that philosophical and scholarly context have reduced emphasis, which was the historical basis, culture embedded craft and artist emphasis is missing. Scholar exchange one-sided. This is something which I would like comments from all our friends. I think basically the word exchange has become one-sided. I don't know how many Japanese come to your country, but very few come to India. So I think this is something which we need to flag. Then people to people contacts have become tourism. So in this change scenario, in the next session, I suppose we can think in terms of how do we reorient our SAFJUAA activities. Thank you so much. Congratulations again to John for excellent meeting.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Jain, for your time and for your insightful and wonderful presentation. I'm checking the chat box and there is one comment from, let me go back and see. There's one comment from Mr. Narayan Bahadur Basnet. He wrote in the chat box, better to mention philosophical religious relationship rather than land of Buddha, even in those days. So maybe this is something we would want to come back in the second technical session, or would you want to quickly respond to that, Dr. Jain?
Yes, I think we are sort of, our thinking is more constrained in terms of the political boundaries, but I think we should cut across. It's more in terms of ideas and commonality of a culture that SAFJUAA needs to bring to build upon, rather than sort of country. And I think there's a lot of commonality on that, and we'll come to that in the next session.
Yeah, thank you so much. Now we would move to the next presentation. I would like to request Dr. Jain to unshare your presentation.
If I know how to do that.
Yeah, while you are fiddling with the cursors and trying to fix that, maybe I would like to call upon the next presenter. And with the next presentation, I think we will also hear the recorded message from His Excellency Ambassador of Japan, Embassy of Japan in Kathmandu, which because of the technical glitches, we couldn't hear it earlier. So may I request Dr. Pravin Shrestha, President of Japanese University Alumni Association of Nepal, to play the recorded message from His Excellency and also deliver your presentation. Dr. Jain, have we fixed it? Not it, right? Dr. Jeevan, can we do it from our end? No.
Yes, please.
Yeah, if we can.
What I.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, fine.
Perfect. Thank you. So, Dr. Pravin, over to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Sarvati, and thank you very much to all the former speakers. It was really a great presentation from all the speakers going on. To continue, I will share my slide, and before I share, I will try to play the message from His Excellency Ambassador of Japan. Is it audible?
Not it.
Not.
Dr. Pravin. It's not working.
Not. Is it working or not?
No.
Not really.
聞こえてない。
Not working.
まだです。まだです。
Okay. So,
Not yet.
again, this technical problem will be dealt later. So now let me begin with a kind permission. Let me begin my presentation now. Is my slide visible here?
Yes, it is. Yeah, please go ahead with the slideshow mode.
I'm trying to do this slideshow mode, but again, some problem, I guess. Let me stop this one. and open again. Let me share my slide once again. Is this visible now?
We are seeing your document screen.
Not slide, yes.
Is it visible now?
Not yet, Dr. Praveen.
Ready?
You have not selected it. You just click it first and then hopefully it will be appear.
Well, in my PC, it is clearly visible. I will stop
Yes.
sharing once. I will share once again.
Yeah, it's okay. You can proceed.
Okay. I guess it is visible now. Well, good morning once again. I am Praveen Shrestha, representing SAFJUAA and Nepal. Well, I am very briefly going to talk about relation of Nepal with Japan, and I believe it is visible. I believe I am audible to you all. Yes, before I proceed, just a single slide about what is Japan and why Japan. Well, I don't know exactly what is Japan, because Japan is something which is really, really beyond explanation. So my impression, my understanding, my knowledge about Japan is a country of nature. Japan is a country of culture. And in addition, of course, Japan is a country of science and technology. This is what I know about Japan. This is what I have my impression about Japan. This is what I have understood about Japan. So Japan is the perfect combination of nature, culture, and science and technology. It is a complete combination and mixture of these things. And I believe this is what the difference is between Japan and other highly developed countries. Well, now going to the few historical facts about Nepal and Japan. Well, it goes back to more than 125 years ago when a young Japanese Buddhist monk, Mr. Ikai Kawaguchi, he came to Nepal 125 years back. This is the person, Mr. Kawaguchi, and he knew about Lumbini, so he wanted to visit Lumbini. He visited Lumbini several times. He is one of the pioneers who discovered and described many things about Ashoka Pillar and Lumbini and Gautam Buddha. And then in his recognition, then government of Nepal published this stamp in his recognition for his contribution in promoting Nepal and Japan. And since then, people-to-people contact between Nepal and Japan further flourished. Well, another thing about Nepal and Japan is more than 120 years of first Nepalese students to Japan. It goes back to 1902 when then the Nepal government, then Prime Minister Mr. Dev Samsar Rana, he sent 8 students from Nepal to Japan for the higher study. These were the 8 students. They studied in University of Tokyo and in Tokyo Institute of Technology. But basically, they studied different kinds of technical aspects. Then they came back to Nepal in 1905 after completion of 3 years. Then there happened series of exchange between royal family and the emperor family of Japan and Nepal. Then King Mahendra had a very good friendship and relationship with the then Emperor Hirohito, their family members as well. Then they started a diplomatic relationship, opened an embassy of Nepal in Japan in 1955. So Japan is one of those first few countries with whom Nepal established its diplomatic relationship. So Mr. Kira was the first residential ambassador at the time. Before that, there was a non-residential ambassador from Japan to Nepal. Similarly, there was a very good relationship between King, Princess, King Birendra and Hirohito, King Birendra and Emperor Akihito, and then Crown Prince Mr. Naruhito and Mr. Jipendra. They also had very good exchange between their various activities. Not only diplomatic and this royal relationship between Nepal and Japan, there was another historical fact that Nepal Rashtra Bank is the national bank of Nepal. This Nepal Rashtra Bank opened its first international account in Japan. So that was a historical moment between Japan and Nepal. And not only that, in addition, for Japan also, that was the first international account that they opened in Japan. So the first international account was Nepal that they opened in Japan. Somehow my slide is stuck.
कोभिड जस्ता जथाधनीहरूको सहयोग अति आवश्यक हुन्छ बाँझको अध्ययन गर्न
Something is happening. Can you see my slide here?
Yes, we are at international account of Nepal Rashtra Bank.
Yes.
Japan, right?
Somehow it is stuck here. I'm sorry for that. It's not moving forward. So I would like to stop sharing once again. And I would like to share it once again. I'm again sorry for that. Can you see this slide?
Yes, the same slide. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is somehow not moving. Let me stop it once again. Let me share it once again. Can you see this slide?
We are just looking at your doc folder, not the slide one.
Can you see this one?
Not it.
Yes, it's moving, I guess.
No, we can't see your slide. See your slide.
Can you see this slide?
No.
No slide
Only
appeared,
folder.
you know. पहिला क्लिक गर्नु पर्ला
पहिला स्लाइड ओपन गराउँछ त्यसपछि शेयर गरौँ त
अघिकै ठिक थियो तर फेरि के भयो त्यसमा
अहिले आइरहेको छ
छैन सर
फोल्डर मात्रै आछ सर फोल्डर
फोल्डर क्लिक नै भएको छैन एकचोटि अघिको जस्तो फेरि क्लिक गराउँदा सर आउँछ कि
मैले फेरि गरेँ I have been trying. I guess you should be able to see this slide. Hasn't I?
हैन सर पहिला स्लाइड ओपन सरले पहिले गरेपछि मात्रै शेयर गरौँ न
मैले फोल्डर ओपन गरेँ. I opened this. Okay, I will.
फोल्डरबाट नजाऊ सर स्लाइड्स ओपन गरिसकेपछि मात्रै शेयर गरौँ न स्क्रिन शेयर
अब देखियो
छैन छैन सर
भएन
ओ के भयो अघि एकचोटि राम्रै देखिएको थियो
These are the technical problems we have. अब चाहिँ
फोल्डर मात्रै आछ सर फोल्डर
फोल्डर देखियो स्लाइड चाहिँ त्यहाँ क्लिक गराउँदा एकचोटि फेरि
अब
इन्टरनेट ब्यान्डविड्थ अलि कमजोर भयो कि अहिले कतै बढी प्रयोग गरेर
अब देखिनु पर्ने हो
सर पहिला उसमा ओपन गरौँ न सर पावर पोइन्ट ओपन गरौँ अनि
स्लाइड ओपन गरौँ फाइल अनि त्यो फाइललाई स्लाइडलाई मात्रै शेयर गरौँ सर फोल्डर नगरेर शेयर गरेर ओपन गर्ने हैन कि सर शेयर ओपन गरेर शेयर गर्ने
हजुर एकैछिन
Now, yeah, it's working.
And Dr. Pravin, also we need to, we are running out of time, so maybe I request you to fast track.
So can you see this slide now?
Perfectly, yes. Okay.
Okay. So this was the gentleman who was the first governor of Nepal Rashtra Bank that I was talking about. So he started the National Bank of Nepal and he opened that international account in Japan. So this special ceremony was organized last year by Embassy of Japan in Kathmandu, Nepal, and government of Japan honored this gentleman, Mr. Himalaya Santadana, with a special ceremony where Juan was also invited. I was lucky enough to participate in that program. So this suggests that there was a deep relationship between Nepal and Japan, and also between the Embassy of Japan and Juan. So a few other historical facts. Well, as you all know, Nepal is a country of mountains, and Japan is a country of mountain climbers. What a very good combination between these two countries. So this is the first lady, Junko Tabe, who first climbed Mount Everest in 1975, followed by again another Mr. Young mountaineer Ken Noguchi, who started Mount Everest cleaning campaign in 2000, and he removed thousands of tons of garbage from Mount Everest. Another gentleman, Mr. Miura, was the oldest person so far to climb Mount Everest at the end of 80. Before him, there was a Nepalese person, Mr. Minbal Chetri, who climbed Mount Everest at the age of 76. And there was a very tough, competition between these two gentlemen in climbing Mount Everest. Well, coming to the Juan, as I already mentioned, I don't want to waste much of time. We have recently celebrated 50 years of this establishment of our alumni. So Juan, our alumni, is one of the oldest alumni in the world, Japanese University alumni, I mean. So it is oldest in South Asia, and it is second oldest in Asia after Thailand. So this is the 50th anniversary we recently celebrated, organizing different kinds of programs and events. And again, Juan was lucky enough to get special appreciation and commendation from Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan. So Japan government awarded Juan with a special appreciation, and this was the first kind of award to any alumni association in the world. So this was the ceremony that took place last year, and again I was lucky enough to represent Juan. Again, we celebrated, organized different kinds of activities last year, celebrating 120 years of first Nepalese Japan. So this is briefly about SAFJUAA. Again, just to repeat once again, it was started in Nepal in 2005 with our seniors and leaders at that time, leaders of Juan. It was third SAFJUAA in Nepal again in 2010. And again, fourth was in Pakistan. I remember I attended this with my fellow here, and that time Dr. Jafar Sinwari was there, and we signed the SAFJUAA Declaration 2011 in Islamabad. Then it was 2015 Japanese language speech contest. Dr. Ashok was there that time also, and then again SAFJUAA in Nepal in 2016, again in Pakistan in 2018, and this time again in Nepal. So this is the list I have found so far. I don't think this list is a complete list because probably the historical things are missing somewhere, but this is what I could collect. This is the list of the SAFJUAA meet and speech contests so far organized. So by saying this, I would like to conclude that we should promote various aspects of friendship between Nepal and between South Asia and Japan, and we should encourage our colleagues to visit Japan and study, in Japan about higher technological studies. Well, thank you very much once again, and sorry for the delay. Long live SAFJUAA. Thank you very much. Dr. Savitri is muted.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was talking on mute. So thank you so much, Dr. Pravin, for keeping your presentation short, and it's very informative. We started this SAFJUAA journey in 2005. This is very informative to all of us, and different myths, throughout ever since. So should we try? Should we try to play the recorded message one more time from His Excellency Ambassador?
Well, it will be played later when our representative from Japanese embassy, Ms. Tato Mayuko, when she will speak something on behalf of the embassy, that time she will play.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Pravin. So we are 10 minutes behind the schedule. So if you all agree, then I think we will be taking a short break at this point of the time before we go on to the second technical session of this virtual symposium. Before we break for that, I would like to thank all the wonderful presenters for their insightful presentation and engaging, attentive listeners. Though we don't have much questions, it looks like the presentation is very clear and insightful. So a little bit of the information before we go for the break. If you all agree, we can keep it for 20 minutes so that we can finish the whole virtual symposium still on time as planned. So the president, vice president, and general secretary from each member country will join the SAFJUAA board meeting in a separate link that has already been shared with them, while the rest of us will take a 20 minutes break. We stay live in this Zoom link as it is, but before we go for a break, we can mute ourselves and turn off all the videos. I kindly request those president, vice president, and general secretary to rejoin this symposium after your board meeting in this link, so that we can resume the symposium's second technical session. Does that sound okay? Can you keep up the board meeting for 20 minutes and rejoin us so that we can finish on time?
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Savitri. Once again, I would like to request all the executives to join the link that we have shared in the SAFJUAA common WhatsApp group. I have also shared the link in your email. So let's join along with Dr. Savitri. You might have also received that link. So let's join and discuss briefly about the SAFJUAA Resolution 2023. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, let's break for 20 minutes. We'll come back 11:20. All right. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Dr. Ashok, yeah, I would like to request to join another link which was here in the workshop. Dr. Ashok and Dr. Sunil, please join the another
Yes, yes.
Zoom link which was shared in the
This one is okay.
another Zoom link here.
This is okay or
Here in the WhatsApp, not this one. Another.
yeah, I am here. I'm ready.
Dr. Corbin just share with in the email too.
Yeah. You send me a new one, no? Okay, I have to go to that one, no?
That link is for board meeting, yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. We are waiting for the board, SAFJUAA board members to join this link. I'm trying to connect with them. Dr. Jeevan?
Yeah, just finished. Yeah, they are coming here.
Okay, so yeah, so let's wait for 2 more minutes and then we can start. I hope you all able to grab some water, coffee, tea, whatever in the break. Yeah, and then ready for the second technical session of the symposium today. And Dr. Samim, I see you here. You will be going first in the session once we start, not now. Does that sound okay?
So may I know the title, or what should I say? I don't know yet.
No, the title is about the future collaboration with Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's wait for more people to join or rejoin, and then we'll start.
Savitriji,
Ajur.
अनि ambassador को video चल्यो?
Not yet, sir. So we will do
sir.
that later after the technical session, in the closing session.
Okay.
Will I be able to show a slide in the second session?
Yes, you will be. Let's
Just 1 or 2, maybe.
Yeah, that's totally fine, Dr. Jain.
Okay.
Let me see if everybody is here. Yep. So maybe we can start. Let me start the second half of the session by welcoming you all. Welcome back. Just to remind all of us that we are at the virtual symposium of SAFJUAA 2023. And then the theme that we are entertaining today is Japan and South Asia in 21st century. So we now start with the second technical session of SAFJUAA virtual symposium. Similar to the first one, we will be having 5 to 6 presentations. This time we will only have 5 presentations to be exact, because we do not have the presentation from Bhutan in this session. The theme of this session is future collaboration with Japan. We talked about relation with Japan existing and in the past in the first one, and then this one is looking forward, what next with this relationship. So similar to the first session, in this session as well, each presenter will have 10 minutes, 8 minutes for the presentation. And if there are any questions, like, for the rest 2 minutes for the questions and answer session. For question, again, I would like to request everybody to type your question in the chat box, clearly mentioning the name of the presenter you are addressing. We have two questions that fits for this session. Maybe towards the end of the technical session, I'll read those questions out and anybody can respond to that. Yeah, so shall we start? I guess so, right? So may I invite Dr. Samim Alam on behalf of Japanese University Alumni Association in Bangladesh. Since Professor Dr. Khandokar is not here with us, he did the presentation in the first session. He has handed over his representation to Dr. Samim. Dr. Samim, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, SAFJUAA leaders and the organizers as well. Just in absence of my president of JUAB, Just I'm representing. Actually, I am not prepared well for this session. Maybe I will not take 10 minutes. Maybe within a few minutes I can conclude. So actually the title is a feature collaboration with Japan. So as we know, we are very much acquainted with Japanese culture, their living standard and status, and their science, technology, and development. Actually, South area, we are much behind than Japan. So if our collaboration is, we can have much more with Japan, then we may develop our country and country people as well as culture. And we know each other, South countries very well. So we have to work together. If we can arrange different programs, and if we can move SAFJUAA in a body, if we have arranged some areas to move, some areas, the way how we can develop ourselves or our students may go in Japan for higher studies. In this time, I think we have limited offer from Japan. If we can move in a body as a SAFJUAA, if we can request them, the Japanese ministry or Japanese government, to take more students from our country, then maybe it will be better. And actually, in Bangladesh, what we do here with the Japanese embassy or Japanese government, we extend our collaboration from our part to them to come forward to us. And from our previous presentation from my president, Mr. Khandokar, you have seen that we have organized different programs every year, and we have schedule of a year-long schedule with the Japanese embassy. We have purchased our permanent asset, permanent office, permanent school. We have seen that we have 2 permanent office in Dhaka city, and we are organizing JLPT exam, and we have lot of so many universities, but Japan Foundation depend on us, and it is only that we are cooperating with, we are volunteering those who have conducted PhD or visited Japan. Just we are assisting Japanese embassy as a part of their activities, and we are taking programs to uphold Japanese culture in Bangladesh. So hopefully, if they satisfy to us, to our program, to our activities, then collaboration will be developed more. And this is in a brief. I can. It's my thinking, and it's our organization thinking also. If we want to develop future collaboration with Japan, then we have to do more with them in association with Japanese embassy in respective countries. So thank you very much. If you have any question, then I can answer more.
Thank you, Dr. Samim. I'm sorry to put you on the spot on behalf of Professor Khandokar, and thank you so much for being so prompt and speak on behalf of him. This is so great. There is one question in the chat box. It's not specific to Bangladesh, but maybe this can be responded by any of the member countries. Let me read it out. It's from Bhutan. And then there is another comment from Dr. Jain, who says, like, Japan's education system had attracted Indian leaders. So Nizam of Hyderabad also sent a delegation around 1890s. And there is another scenario where in Bhutan of recent, Bhutanese students are showing lesser interest to avail the scholarship opportunities offered by the Japanese government. What can be the reasons and way forward by Japanese government to attract scholars and strengthen the relationship? So in India, there is a greater interest, especially among the leaders, whereas in Bhutan, there is a lesser interest among the young students, like, for this kind of a scholarship. So how to strike that balance, or how to, what we can do in terms of, I think having a more interest is good, but how can we, like, bring or attract more scholars, more young people, youngsters to grab this kind of opportunities, so that that's like, we can strengthen the relationship. So if you have any quick thoughts on that, please respond to that. Otherwise, we will move to the next one. And this time we are following the alphabetical order. So please get ready for your presentation. I've already sent the message to Dr. Jain. You are the next one going for the presentation. Dr. Samim, any quick thought on that?
I can answer within a few sentences. Actually, to encourage students from our countries, we can arrange a different seminar, different cultural events, and practically we are arranging like this, and many more students are coming to us to know about Japan, their study and something like else, and they are encouraging to go Japan. So it's our practical experience. So I think if you like any other country from, they can arrange like our like Bangladesh. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Samim, and thank you so much for sharing your thoughts around future collaboration. So next, let's move to the next presenter for this technical session, future collaboration with Japan. As I mentioned earlier, Dr. Jain, please go ahead with your presentation. The next presenter will be from Nepal, Professor Dr. Kesi. Please get yourself ready for the next presentation. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, but we haven't seen your slides yet.
Slide control, is it? Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, let me forget about the slide then.
We are enjoying your family pictures. Dr.
Yeah,
It's so nice.
Yeah, actually, it's
Okay, then let me just forget about the slide. The point I'm trying to make is that
Dr. Jain, do you wanna unshare your screen first so that we can see the audiences then?
What is it?
Can you unshare, stop sharing your screen?
Oh, yes.
Screen? Yeah, thank you. Though we are enjoying your family pictures.
Yeah, Dr. Jain is our senior and serving so many years.
Yeah. On the top of your screen, there is stop sharing, which is written in red. So if you click there,
So this looks good. Dr. Jain, please. Or have we lost him?
Hello?
Yeah.
I connected.
Dr. Jain, are you? Yes.
Oh, there's an update going on. I think somebody has shared.
Dr. Jain, are you still in Zoom? Well, I can check the participants list here, but
I don't see him either.
yeah, I can
So,
in the list. I cannot see him.
You can see.
So maybe we can save time by moving to the next presentation.
Yes.
So I would like to invite Professor Dr. Khadga Kesi, Vice President of Japanese University Alumni Association of Nepal. Dr. Professor Khadga, if you are ready, please. And after Professor Kesi, we will have the delegates from Pakistan. Professor Afaq Hussain, please get yourself ready as well for the next presentation. Looks like Dr. Casey is also not with us. Dr. Jeevan, do you have any update?
He is seen in the participant list, but not
Yeah.
responding.
True. Well, then we have to move to the next one to save our time, right? So maybe let's invite Professor Afaq Hussain, Mixed Alumni Association of Pakistan. If you are ready, let's move ahead with your presentation.
Yes, I'm ready. Just give me a minute to share my.
Yeah, perfect. It's so good to hear your voice. Yeah.
It seems that the light has gone, power has gone in Kathmandu. Many members are
dropped. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, never mind. Professor, when you are ready, yeah, please go ahead.
Dr. Ashok just joined.
I have come back, but doesn't matter. I'll speak later.
Yeah, Dr. Jain, I'll come to you later.
Yeah, I
We
understand.
have already announced Professor Afaq Hussain.
Yes,
so
please go ahead.
Getting ready. Yep.
Can you see the presentation?
Not yet.
Okay, just a minute.
Yes, your screen. We can see your screen, but yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And good evening, or maybe it's I don't know what time is in your time zone.
We like to see your face also.
Well, unfortunately, I just got a new laptop, and it seems that the camera is not properly installed, and I can you cannot see me. I'll share with my mobile phone later on. I'll have to, but we don't want to waste our time. Sometimes these technologies are a barrier also, although they are very good for communicating. Okay, it's a good opportunity to interact with my colleagues from Japan, all of you alumni, and let us share our experiences. Now, the topic, although is the future of Japan-Pakistan alumni, And of course, I would like to include all the alumni. I think it's not just Japan alumni from Pakistan and Japan, but also with all the South Asian countries and their alumni. And we have a lot of friends from different countries, which we shared while studying at Japan. So these relations can, of course, be used to bridge our communities, not just technologically, but also socially and culturally. So we can learn from our experiences. I was learning from some of the presentations of my friends, how they are doing and what they are doing. So maybe I would like my association also to take follow their steps and learn from their experiences. Okay, this year is the 75th anniversary of the Pak-Japan relations. And the map, what we call the Monbushu Alumni Association of Pakistan, or which also includes other alumni of Japanese universities. So these we have been playing a positive role in understanding between Japan and Pakistan. But what do we see in the future, or what are the problems or the challenges involved? So of course, we want to support a network of former graduates who will in turn help to raise profiles of the two countries. We want to tell our own young people what our good experiences and motivate them to go to Japan. And as you know, some of my friend was from, I think, Nepal or Bhutan, was saying that it's difficult to motivate the youngers to go to Japan. Of course, our second language is English. So we prefer going to an English speaking country. And the Japanese language is a barrier, and sometimes it stops young people to opt for Japan. But we, of course, can play our role and share our good experiences, what we learn, as compared to my friends who went to UK or USA for higher education. So we can give our youth talks of our experiences. So we must contribute to peace, prosperity, and friendship. Now, all of our organizations, the alumni associations, whether it is Pakistani Alumni Association or Indian or Bangladeshi or Bhutan or Nepal, we are all volunteers. And there are some critical issues with volunteerism and philanthropy. We have to have a systematic efforts to improve the society, but we have some challenges. We would like to have a mechanism to visit our mother universities in Japan and invite Japanese, sometimes professors or colleagues, to our countries for technical as well as cultural assistance, collaboration. But the challenge is the financial sustainability, because all these are volunteer activities. And all of you, some of you might be professors and economists or professionals in your fields, and that is your primary job. And even now, I think it's in the morning in some countries and daytime in other countries. So most of you would be working, and I'm also sitting in my office, which is actually the Higher Education Commission of Pakistan. So the challenge is how to find the time and how to fund our activities. Of course, there was a time that JICA and the Japan Foundation were helping us out, but it seems that their role is also limited by the financial crunch. So if you look at the issues and challenges, we did some survey. The event attendance is the biggest challenge. Even today's event, I can see only maybe 20 or 25 participants, and we have about 250 members in Pakistan, and we have floated this Zoom meeting invitation to all the group members on our WhatsApp group and email groups. Maybe 3 or 4 members are present, or maybe even less. So recruiting the leaders is another challenge. Who will take the lead and organize an event? That is another big challenge. Fundraising is again another challenge. Time commitment of leaders, again, your primary job is something else. Telling members about the events information is comparatively easy because of the technology. It's easy to communicate about an event, but making them participate in time is a challenge. Fundraising, again, is a challenge. Telling members about the group news, leadership turnover, because the MAP members are all, the executive committees are time-based. So we change we have elections every 2 years. So the leadership changes. So the new team comes in, they take time to settle down and know people, and then communicate with other people. So it's an evolving process. Fundraising for the alma mater, again, is a big problem. And communication with national and other stakeholders is another issue. So looking at all these issues, we have to find some way forward. Within the MAP, within the Alumni Association and SAFJUAA, we can work jointly in maybe different common areas like relations with Japan and the Sustainable Development Goals, promoting mutual respect and understanding because of our diversity, support international students to promote globalization. We can have joint training programs. Even we can invite for conferences, especially now with this technology, you don't have to travel and you can participate and present your ideas online. So we can have youth exchange opportunities using this technology, because financing is a problem unless we find some way out. We have been collaborating and volunteering for the JLPT test for the Japan Foundation, which is, on the Sunday, the first Sunday of July and December, and getting up at 8 a.m. and participating as a volunteer organization for Japan conducting the exam is a challenge. I'm sure many of you are also doing that, but in Pakistan, during the last 5 years, the number of Japanese language test takers has increased rapidly. And now we have about 500 to 600 students in different levels. And we need sometimes 20 to 30 invigilators. And finding so many volunteers is a challenge. Of course, there is the JDS research workshop webinar. So we can, if we have a close network, maybe an email group or a WhatsApp group, so we can share such information, just technical information. So inviting people to participate online and learning from each other's experience. So that comes with developing contacts with the MAP members and MAP scholars in Japan, as well as in South Asian countries. We can work in language and cultural exchange programs, in research collaborations, educational workshops and webinars. Again, the main focus should be strengthening of friendly relations among MAP and other associations. And of course, we are assisting the Embassy of Japan in selection procedure, conducting orientation for the next grantees, guidance to the students seeking admission in Japanese universities, arranging orientation seminars in local universities, annual get-together of alumni, joint newsletter of SAFJUAA. So we can work on all these issues and opportunities. We have been assisting the Embassy of Japan in organizing cultural events like Japanese Film Festival, calendar exhibition, Ikebana exhibition, Japanese speech contests, and so on. We can expand the membership and strengthen alumni networks in more cities and universities, but physical and geographical diversity sometimes limit us. So we have to work with the Japanese, not just the embassy, but the NGOs for fostering this relationship, enhanced cultural exchange. So the key word is getting involved. So we want our Pakistani Alumni Association to work closely with the SAFJUAA and organize more, at least an annual event. Let's start from an annual event. Maybe we can have biannual events to have more closer collaboration and getting to know each other. Thank you. That's all. Any question?
Thank you so much, Professor Hussain. Yeah, so I think this is, I mean, until now, we're talking about what we are doing, and the presentation, hearing your presentation, there's a lot I can resonate to on behalf of Juan as well. I think that will also come up, confirming those ideas, those challenges in our upcoming presentation. So thank you so much for being honest and sharing all those challenges in front of us and in the way forward.
Can I have a question, Dr. Savitri?
Looks like Dr. Pravin, you have a question.
Yes.
I can see your hand raised.
Yes, small question.
Yeah, please.
To Dr. Afaq. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Afaq, for such a nice presentation about your activities. Small query from my side is, while you conduct speech contest or while you conduct Japanese language proficiency test, do you also collaborate with other local Japanese language institutions that are available in your place? Do you coordinate with them?
Actually, because the language test is conducted by the Japanese Foundation and they need invigilators. So we act as volunteers to help them conduct the exam. And because we are a party in conducting the exam, so the Japanese language institutes, they send their students to take the exam. I think that is universal. So, of course, in our personal capacity or from MAP platform, we are coordinating with different language institutes to guide them regarding the challenges and the, for example, now we have the Japanese internship program and the other job opportunities in Japan. And they have also the JLCT, the Japanese language capability test. So that is a different test, not from the Japan Foundation. So we do provide them guidance. But because we are a party to the exam, we cannot, at that moment, we cannot do the collaboration. I hope that clears that question. Yes. Mr. Pravin? Yes, Dr. Jain.
Looks like, I don't know, have lost him, but yeah, I see Dr. Jain raising your hand. Looks like you have a question, no? You are mute.
You are mute, we cannot hear you.
I think I can combine it in my presentation, the answers. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't see any additional question in the chat box, so maybe we can move ahead with the next presentation. So over to you, Dr. Zain.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I had to leave in between, but I think Dr. Hussain has already given us a good, very clear picture. I think one point we must remember is our boundary conditions. We may think big, but our boundary conditions are, we are small organizations, our human resource, financial resources are limited. So one thing is very clear, as we move ahead, we have to depend more and more on internet and virtual working mode. And I think this is where we are still struggling. Number two, I think it's extremely important to have continuity. Dr. Hussain rightly said, my humble suggestion is that while the top posts may keep changing, but designate one person, let's say for SAFJUAA, who maintains the continuity. Just one of your members. I think sustainability, continuity is extremely important. Then strategy-wise going ahead, I think we must try to accumulate experiences and use social media and internet to make an impact. Now, the accumulating experiences, one attempt was proficiency, Japanese language speech contest. And I think we must continue because that over the years sends a lot of message to so many students. Now, insofar as JLPT is concerned, all of us are doing it. In fact, in Delhi Center alone, we handle 6,000 students. And all over India, there are 20,000 students who take JLPT. So that's a stream which is going on. I think we don't have to worry about too much. Let's continue that. But speech contest, we must pick up. We should not give up. So that is one. The second cumulative thing, which I find coming out from this, there are many common things. For example, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka has a Japanese garden. Pakistan has a Japanese garden. Nepal has kind of a place where Sakura is going. Pune in India has. So I think one theme which is common and falls exactly in the soft relations is, let's say, gardens. These Japanese gardens, can we have people from each country talk about, not I don't talk, the person who is handling, who knows about the garden, let him come, let the person from Sri Lanka come, let from Pakistan come, and have a very good symposium on Japanese gardens in SAFJUAA countries. So I think we must pick up themes which nobody else is picking up, and where all we need is to bring expertise together. I can give several examples. Craft is another example. We have very vibrant craftsmanship in all our countries. Japan has master craftsmen. So, but I can't speak. Dr. Hussain can't speak on crafts. But the culture of crafts, I know there are scholars in Nepal. I know there are scholars in Sri Lanka. So pick up these things which nobody else is picking up. So I think all we need is this careful selection of themes which are related to culture, soft aspects. I don't think we need to discuss about industrial collaboration, economic collaboration, political. No. That's not our job. So culture-related themes, experts, all the time we talk, but I think we have the experts talking in a seminar. That cumulative thing can be edited. One of the associations can take the responsibility of bringing out an edited volume, soft volume, put it on our nets. So I think these are some of the directions, future directions for us. One thing is becoming very clear, that insofar as scholarships are concerned, Japan gradually is expecting self-financing students, because there is no reason why thousands go to America, Australia, and so on, paying their own fees, and yet Japan is not in their radar. So I think we must consciously, rather than pushing for increasing number of scholarships, try to send the message that self-financing studies in Japan is cheaper than self-financing study in US. So sort of somehow these kinds of messages, we must be very clear as to what messages we want to send to students in terms of studying in Japan. I don't have, I couldn't show the slide, but I have prepared a slide where I show the number of Nepalese students, Japanese students, Indians, Bangladeshi students in Japan, and the number of joint papers published. It's a very interesting data, which I'll circulate to all of you. So I think these are the type of information gathering, collecting that nobody else is doing. And we are, after all, a group of scholars. We must be, our output must reflect scholarship, research, some thinking. So I think with these boundaries in our mind, we can go ahead. One event, as Dr. Hussain said, one or two good events, well thought out events, good theme which nobody else is likely to pick up, where SAFJUAA amongst members have expertise, and we have a good way forward. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Jain. There's a lot of great ideas and suggestions in your talk just now. I can see many of the participants from fellow member countries like the idea and agreed to the suggestions that you have offered. Let's continue this conversation on future collaboration with Japan to add more ideas and suggestions on this list. So may I invite Professor Dr. Kharga Kesi from Japanese University Alumni Association of Nepal. Professor Kesi, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Savitri. So is my turn to share the resolution or something before that?
That's your presentation on future collaboration.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I could not prepare PPT, so I will speak offhand. Yeah. And thank you, Dr. Savitri, organizing chair, Dr. Praveen, all seniors from Juan and Mosai, and every senior members of respective Japanese Alumni Association of Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, and of course, Dr. Jain from India. So, Arendra Barwa, the senior founding president of Juan of Nepal, and my colleagues from Nepal and else others member country. It's my great pleasure to share some of my ideas about Japan and South Asia. I fully agreed Dr. Jain's the ideas was what he had just shared among us. We are not, no matter, many of us are working with the government in our home country. However, we don't represent the government here in this platform. So we are, in a sense, a non-state actors. So our main objective, as per the titles of this summit or event of this morning, South Asia, Japan and South Asia in 21st century. So I will focus a couple of points on these topics. Japan, we are Japan graduate. And as Professor Dr. Jain has shared with us that our role is, if possible, try to transfer the technology and values from Japan to our home country. And this is a kind of like umbrella organization we created in 2005. Whether we have been proven our credential as a functioning regional platform or framework or not, however, still we are largely connected. Those who graduated from Japan working back in home in our respective countries. So we are kind of like Japanese. On the one hand, we are the kind of like Japanese soft powers. We are Japanese like, public diplomat, because we are trying to promote Japanese values back in our home country on the one hand. On the other hand, of course, we are the citizen of respective country, India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and then even Myanmar, Bhutan. So our primary responsibility is to serve one's one country. What we learn from Japan should introduce, apply on the one hand. On the other hand, try to promote Japan normally, principally, kind of like cultural promotion, the values promotion, technology promotion. So for this, in 21st century, from now on, in South Asia, because of its geostrategic location, because of its size of population, because of its growing economic might, because India is becoming the world like an economic power. So far is the 3/4 like economy, and then coming up in sometime soon is the second largest economy, maybe next decades. So in GII, Global Innovation Index also, India has already become in the 40 around like position, and other South Asian countries, even Bangladesh also doing great, like even the economy, and Bhutan has been doing exemplary work in climate change and ecology protection, and we are also trying our level best in our context in Nepal. So every country has their own strength. So, and how could we learn from Japan from now on in technology transfer, and how we could contribute our once one homeland, what we learn from Japan, and that how can we apply back in home. So that for this, I think let me prescribe or suggest a couple of things through SAFJUAA. We are the soft power of Japan because we are promoting Japan in South Asia in our respective countries. We are the soft power of our country because we do have a connection with Japan. Because we graduated from Japan, we know Japanese language, somehow we learn something from Japan, so that we are the soft power of Nepal as well. So in this given context, let us try to make a one, officially we'll bring out the resolution. However, in my personal perspective, so let us institutionalize this platform, SAFJUAA, and it's kind of like think tank. Let us make it as a think tank on the one hand for our respective government, and then for our regional cooperation as well. We have a SAARC. Since SAARC seems like more dysfunctional because of many bilateral conflict and so on and so forth, it has become a decade. We have not had a regular SAARC summit since last SAARC summit was held in Kathmandu in 2014. So SAFJUAA would be the great platform. Many of us were trained in Japan, and Japan doesn't have that much political interest in South Asia, probably compared to the other global power. And she does have very wonderful bilateral relation with every South Asian country, exemplary relation. Given this context, let us institutionalize, make the SAFJUAA forum more functioning to urge regional cooperation to our respective countries, to work more to Japan, to South Asia, and third, learn from Japan to South Asia. So these will be the agenda for our forthcoming stage of institutionalization of SAFJUAA. So taking this opportunity, I really hat off those of our senior who conceived this idea to establish SAFJUAA for South Asian Japanese Alumni Association. I really hat off, I really appreciate, I really acknowledge those seniors who conceived this idea. And this is a wonderful idea. Let us make it institution platform more functioning through connecting Japan and South Asia, making our once one country more like to work in particular areas, for example, climate change and repercussion for respective country in South Asia, socio-economic development. So for all those issues, we can prioritize sitting together once in a while. So let us make a regular publication so that research publication, unlike a bulletin, a simple bulletin, simple souvenir, because many of us are academically degree awarded graduate from Japan, so that try to make a peer review, establish or bring out a peer review journal of SAFJUAA annual, so that we don't need to have a hassle for biannual, like annual publication, which is really scientific journal like, so that the South Asian leaders, we can go through the SAARC Secretariat as well. Many of us are connected with the BIMSTEC, but unlike BIMSTEC, SAARC is more important for us. So we can work together with SAARC Secretariat. We can work together with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, of External Affairs of the respective country. So that let us bring out one journal publication, so that policy feedback for the respective country. Some of the articles could be about Japan and some of the indigenous research best. Next one is whether we can do some research, bilateral issues, regional issues, and symposium and workshop annually. So these are the three, because we all are largely have an academic degree, so that let us try to be a think tank for South Asian country, try to be a think tank for SAARC, try to connect Japan and South Asia. So that will be kind of like things what we can do from now on. So sometime soon, for me, Kathmandu is the headquarters of SAARC, and coincidentally, the first SAFJUAA summit was held in Kathmandu, and SAARC Secretary is Kathmandu, so we can lobby with the SAARC Secretary as well. We have a SAARC University in Delhi. I'm fortunately, I'm a board member of SAARC University for next 2 years. I quite often visit SAARC University in Delhi. So we can meet SAARC University and SAARC Secretariat together with the SAFJUAA. So let us make SAFJUAA as a real think tank for South Asia and Japan, South Asia, in diverse area where our president is a neurosurgeon, many of all our agriculture scientists, many of others are civil engineer, electronics engineer, medical science in different areas of medical science. Some of us are social scientists, so that we do have a diverse pool of knowledge in this platform, so that let us materialize, utilize for the development of respective countries of South Asia, for regional cooperation of South Asia, for Japan, South Asia, further like, enhancing Japan-South Asia relation for the next 21st century. So for these three resolutions from my part, research, publication, and symposium and workshop annually on issues of bilateral or collective interest, unlike the personal individual country's interest, so that will make sense of the presence of this institution, will be a kind of like for a role model for Japan as well, and in the meantime South Asia, SAARC and SAARC University as well. So I could not make a slide, so however this is the very utmost innate desire to make SAFJUAA real regional framework for promoting regional cooperation among us and promoting Japan-South Asia relation. Thank you so much for everyone. And then I'm really much anticipating to learn more from seniors and all the colleagues, those who are around this morning. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you so much, Professor Casey, for a wonderful presentation. Though it's without slide, but it's very attention-seeking, and we could follow you very well. Thank you so much. So I'm also checking if there is any question. I can see Dr. Jain raising her hand. Yeah, a very quick one, because we are running out of time.
While the iron is hot, Dr. Khatke, here is an open offer. I am associated with the SAARC University, in the sense that the earlier president was my good friend. We are together in Tokyo. So let's together go to SAARC University and let's plan a seminar with them, with SAFJUAA. Thank you.
Wow, we have a plan here. Thank you so much. I think we don't have time to take another question. If you have, please put it in the chat box. We can also respond back and forth from there. So now I would like to invite the final presentation for this second technical session from Sri Lanka, Professor Sajeev Arya Singhe. He's a Vice President, International Relations, Japanese Graduates Alumni Association of Sri Lanka. I have his title of the presentation as well. Fortunately, it's great. His title of the presentation is Nigata Perandania Sister Link Program, 20 Years of University Level Collaboration and then the Way Forward. Over to you, Professor Sajeev.
Good day to all members of SAFJUAA who have joined this meeting. And my special thanks to Dr. Praveen and Dr. Savitri for organizing a wonderful meeting like this for us to get to know each other. My presentation, as Dr. Savitri said, just a moment.
Yeah, we can see your presentation.
Okay, it's a real life situation which I can speak to you about. It is about the Nigata Peradeniya Sister Link program, and for just a minute, please. So to introduce you to Niigata, because it is a bit remote area in Japan, I believe. It is on the Japan sea coast, and it is a part of the snow country. So we have a lot of snow in Niigata, and it is linked with Tokyo by the Shinkansen, which takes about 2 hours. And it is famous for its rich water supply. So because of that, they have very nice sake as well as very tasty rice. And this is my university here in Sri Lanka. It is in Kandy, the second city. The university is in Peradeniya, but very close to Kandy. And it is Kandy was the last capital of Sri Lanka just before British colonization. And as many members who spoke before me mentioned, it is very religious. It has religious significance because the sacred tooth relic of Lord Buddha is lies in this temple, the Dalada Maligawa, and we have an annual festival in August. I invite all of you to visit Kandy during that period. We have many elephants parading, and it's a event which draws a lot of tourists to our country. Okay, so I will talk to you about the Nigata Peradeniya Sister Link, and this is Nigata University, and this is my university here in Peradeniya. So they are relatively similar, established almost at the same time. The number of faculties and number of students also are similar, and even our secretary who has joined and myself both, we have graduated from this University of Peradeniya. So collaboration in the field of education. Like I told you, it is a true story how collaboration began with just one individual getting a Mombusho scholarship. Eventually, just a moment, please. Eventually leading to collaboration where over 300 undergraduates, postgraduates, staff members, as well as officials on either side have visited and gained insight to each other's educational system, research activities, and the soft skills like Dr. Jain suggested, culture as well. So this is how it all began. In 1998, JICA provided an outright grant for the Faculty of Dental Sciences, University of Peradeniya, where a new dental hospital and faculty complex was constructed. We have not only served our students in Sri Lanka, we have had dental students coming in from even Bhutan, Maldives, and other SAARC countries have graduated from this university. And after establishing this university under a technical cooperation program, junior staff at that time in 1998 was sent to various universities in Japan for postgraduate training under the Mombusho Scholarship Program. So I was lucky enough to go to Niigata University, Graduate School of Medicine and Dentistry in 1999. it was a 5-year program. So at the graduation in 2004, I established a link between the Faculty of Dental Sciences, Niigata University, along with the Faculty of Dental Sciences in University of Peradeniya. Later on, this collaboration grew from the Faculty of Dental Sciences to include the allied health sciences, that is nursing, pharmacy, radiology, medical laboratory sciences, and then to the medical faculty, agriculture faculty, and also to the training of officials, that is bursars, registrars of our university. So this is 2004, you can see, and we started in a small way with the help from the Dean of the Niigata University Dental Faculty and the Dean of our faculty, Peradeniya, and gradually expanded to include other faculties. So at the end of almost 19 years, I can show you that the number of Niigata University students, staff, officials, even presidents who have visited the University of Peradeniya is roughly about 138, and a number of Sri Lankan students and staff who have visited Niigata has been 160. So roughly about 300 persons have traveled to and fro from Japan to Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka to Japan, without much dependence on Mombusho or any other high-flowing stuff. We have managed this collaboration. So 300 people going up and down. That is not only the individual, it is the family as well. When a student goes from Peradeniya to Niigata, the family also gets to know about Japan, the culture of Japan, how things are done in that country. And we have managed to popularize Japan in Sri Lanka and Sri Lanka in Japan. And talking about the way forward, so recently the foreign minister of Japan visited our country just 2 weeks ago, and Honorable Hayashi Yoshishima, and there was an exchange of notes. They are, again, they are providing some scholarships for our public sector officials to study in Japan. So this is, I took this from the website of the Japanese embassy in Sri Lanka, and these are the objectives that they hope to achieve. That is the capacity building of the individual that goes to from Sri Lanka to Japan. Once he comes back, and the improvement of the institution he works for. And thirdly, the most important thing which I thought, and also Dr. Ashok Jain also spoke about that, participants are also expected to solidify bilateral solidify relations and further bilateral relations with Japan between both countries by utilizing the human network developed through academic and social activities while in Japan. So I think as individuals who we were very lucky to get this Mombusho scholarship and go to Japan. So it is our duty and to show our gratitude to return to our motherland, number one. Secondly, while practicing what we have learned and to expose more of our junior colleagues or students for similar training, and providing something in return to Japan by inviting their trainees to experience the unique ways of doing things. It's not only that our students go there and learn. There are things in our own countries where Japanese students like to learn. For example, it is Ayurveda is common to, I think, many SAARC countries. So it is Ayurveda is very famous in Japan, and they like to learn that type of medicine and therapy. So because of that, we have many students coming here for that type of education for agriculture, because rice is common to all of us. So how rice is grown there and the types of rice grown there are slightly different to our countries. So there is enough material that we can teach or we can show the Japanese students when they come here, and also research collaboration. So what I like to show is that the greater cooperation between the people of Japan and further strengthening of bilateral relations can be achieved by if we are motivated, if we are willing to step out of our comfort zones and do a little bit extra, then we can establish systems like this and will lead to very close relations between our countries. In Sri Lanka, we have Japanese language is becoming more and more popular because there, as you all may know, the SSW program, Specified Skilled Worker Program, is inviting various skilled people from other countries to Japan due to the shortfall of labor in Japan. Actually, I returned 2 or 3 days ago from Japan, from Niigata, and I saw many foreigners working in Japanese in various institutions, especially in Tokyo. So there is room for us to promote Japanese language, Japanese culture in our countries. That would help our younger generations to even go to Japan and maybe get, even now they can get citizenship and so on. So we have a role to play, definitely, to promote Japan-Sri Lanka relations. We are also in the process as Jagas in Sri Lanka. We are working on this program, SSW program, to be popularized among the young people, as well as we are planning an event to honor Japanese nationals who have helped our country and who have gone unrecognized, because the high-ranking people have been recognized by our states. For example, Mr. Yasushi Akashi, he helped us to, he helped in the conflict that was there for 30 years, and he was an active, he played an active role. Not at that level, but at grassroots levels, there are many Japanese nationals who have helped our country. So we're thinking of honoring them at an event held during the emperor's birthday, or some important event like that to culminate with that. And we are also, some of our members are working on projects like Ikebana, popularizing of Ikebana and Japanese food. So that is also being done in our country. Finally, I would like to thank all of you for your patient listening. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you so much, Professor Sajeev, for your wonderful presentation. And this is one of the case studies that we can kind of refer to in terms of building the relationship between Japan and any country in South Asia. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. I'm just looking at if there is any pertinent question from the attendees. Not yet. Professor Sajeev, would you please stop sharing your screen so that we can move ahead to the next schedule? We can still see your screen. Please unshare it. Perfect. Thank you so much. Since there is no question at this point, let's move ahead in the interest of time. Next, I would like to invite our very own Mr. Harendra Vikas Barua, sir, who is the former president and founding member of Japanese University Alumni Association of Nepal. We would love to hear a few words from you. Barua, sir, over to you. You are on mute, Barua, sir. Maybe we can unmute.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you now, please.
Yes, thank you very much, everybody, for the wonderful gathering after a gap of a couple of years. And it was I'm especially delighted to meet my old friends from Sri Lanka and India and other places. Well, I'm also very happy that SAFJUAA is progressing meaningfully, and we are grateful to Japan for their kind, generous cooperation to us for education. One thing I would like to add here, as you know, how to progress like Japan. It is not very easy. Well, there is one proverb, as you all know, Wakon Yosai. Wakon means Japanese spirit. Yosai means Western knowledge and technology. This is what we should learn really meaningfully from Japan. And to add another one, in 1958 towards 60, there was a famous book, Japanologist, A Modern Japan, by Professor William Lockwood of Prince's University. There he wrote that Asian countries can learn more from Japan than any European or American. And it was main beneficiary was Japan's immediate neighbors, China and Korea. Now, many Asian countries also benefited recently. And how they work, the method and morals of work, and the strong nationalism, that is Japanese spirit. Yes, Japan can do it. This we have to learn. Now, many Asian countries are really benefiting. Recently, I would say, India is copying, not copying, India is doing on the same line, tradition and modernization. And the first Indians who recommended Indian youths to go learn, to go Japan learning, he was Swami Vivekananda in 1899 when he returned from World Religious Conference from Chicago. He spent few days in Japan. And after that, at that time, our Prime Minister, the Rana Prime Minister, Dev Sansar, was in Calcutta. He was a student there. He was very much influenced by the speech of Swami Vivekananda. Then he decided to send Nepalese students in who went there in 1902. That was the beginning. But unfortunately, we could not continue it. And the next generation of students went after the establishment of diplomatic relation between our two countries. That is what. So my main request, all the SAFJUAA friends, let us develop our country and modernize our country with foreign technology, but preserve your tradition and culture. That is the beauty of any country. Thank you very much. 本当に皆さんありがとうございます。SAFJUAAをもっと良くするため一緒に頑張りましょう。ありがとうございます。
Thank you, Barua sir, for your few words. It's always wonderful listening to you, learning from you, and like, you know, all your experience throughout. Thank you so much for encouraging, as always, to people like me. So next, I would like to, I mean, I think we've done with all the technical session for today. So it's so wonderful to hear from all the presenters. Thank you for your excellent presentation, suggestion, insights, ideas, and a big thank you to all our amazing attendees for being attentive listeners today. So now we are at the concluding session. I would like to request our life member and former president of SAFJUAA to summarize the whole technical session, both sessions. The first one on relation with Japan, and then the second one was future collaboration with Japan. So Dr. Dinesh Muju, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Savitri. ありがとうございました。本当にはお疲れ様です。ですけれども、少し時間があるので、サマリします。It has been a wonderful day today, actually. And thanks to the technology, thanks to science that which brought us from 6 different countries to this forum. And thanks to all the participants and the coordinators for organizing this meeting. And without much delay, I would like to briefly mention, I would like to summarize very briefly the 2 sessions we had. Give me a little bit time. So, when we talk about Japan, it's always nostalgic, as Dr. Savitri mentioned. We are all overwhelmed by the Japanese traditional culture, which is very special and also very original. And Japan has developed a kind of combination between tradition and modern, and where we find a different culture of futuristic and modern as well. So it's a great example. I mean, the Japan is it's a great example where historical, traditional, and high-tech modern can coexist. I thought we discovered this phenomena, but just by listening to Dr. Harendra Barua, he mentioned about Swami Vivekananda and what he said about Japan. I think it was discovered long time back. And recently, Barua-san has published a wonderful book. This is in Nepali, although entitled Friendship and Spiritual Link with the People of Japan, where he has explored and tried to bring us a chronology of how Japan and South Asia, our region, started communicating each other. And according to him, it was back in 7th century, that was 1,300 years ago, that Japanese came to know about this region, I mean, this South Asia, through, of course, from the Chinese scholars and philosophers. And as more interestingly, Barua-san has mentioned that in the 9th century, a prince of Japan came to this region, though he had to lose his life on the way, maybe because of some disease or other. And then, as Dr. Jain also mentioned in his talk, Bodhisen, he was the first gentleman or the monk from this region to reach Japan, and it was again 752. My goodness. So Japan and South Asia have a long historical relation built on knowledge, philosophy, culture, and so many things. In the first technical session, as we have listened, we had 6 presentations from Pakistan, Professor Japta Shinwari, Professor Sunil Nawaratne from Sri Lanka, then Professor Yahya Kandukar from Bangladesh, and then Dr. Pema Gyalpo from Bhutan, then Professor Ashok Jain from India, and finally Dr. Praveen Shrestha from Yuan. And looking at the time, I think I should not be repeating what they have presented here. All these presentations highlighted what the alumni associations and the members have been doing there. Quite interestingly, Bangladesh, which I came to know, or we came to know, that they have more than 5,000 graduates from Japan. Oh my, this is wonderful. This is a wonderful phenomenon, actually. And they already have more than 1,000 members with SAFJUAA. They are doing a wonderful job. Of course, the other countries are also doing the same. And in the second technical session, which had its theme, future collaboration with Japan, Dr. Shamim from Bangladesh, he started this session, followed by Dr. Afaq Hussain from Pakistan, then Dr. Ashok Jain from India, then Professor Khadga Kesi from Nepal, and Professor Sajiv Arasinghe from Sri Lanka, and finally we also had an opportunity to listen to Dr. Harinder Barua. So all these presentations, they reiterated, they emphasized to promote peace, prosperity, and of course the collaboration. And as the presenters have mentioned, we have some challenges like event attendance, like recruiting the leaders, and of course the funds and time commitments, as we are all engaged with our job and offices. Even in such scenario, I think Bangladesh example is quite interesting in the sense that they already have acquired at least 2 permanent space to run their office. Similarly, the other countries are also doing same. And finally, I would like to reiterate, or I would like to bring to your notice what Professor Kesi from Nepal has proposed to make SAFJUAA more vibrant and functional, as he has proposed 3 pillars, that is research, publication of a journal, for policy feedback, and regular symposium or seminar like this. So with the experiences of working with Japan and studying Japan, as Professor Arya Singh has mentioned, like Nigata Paradenia Link program, we can develop similar kind of collaboration with Japan. And also among the SAFJUAA, among the alumni association of this region, and we learn from each other, and we learn from Japan. So with this, I think I should be concluding my summary here. Thank you so much for your patience. Arigato gozaimashita.
Thank you so much, Dr. Buzu. The summary couldn't be better than this. Thank you so much for pulling out some of the key messages from our Barua sir's latest published book as well. That's really insightful. Thank you. So we are entering to the concluding session of today's symposium. We have 15 more minutes to go. It's per the schedule. I guess we will be able to wrap that up. Just to remind all of us again, we are at the virtual symposium with the theme of Japan and South Asia in the 21st century. There are lots of ideas and suggestions shared during the technical sessions. So this is the time for the SAFJUAA resolution 2023. I can see Dr. Kharge there. I invite Vice President of JUAN, Professor Dr. Kharge Kesi, to read the SAFJUAA resolution 2023.
Thank you, Dr. Savitri. I have to look somewhere. Files. Soft copy and desktop. Okay. Okay, sorry. Just 1 minute. Can you see the resolution here? No.
We cannot. We can see the chat box for some reason here, one of the screens, I guess.
We cannot see your file. Yes.
We can see it now. Thank you.
Yes, it is visible now.
Chair of the session, Dr. Praveen, all dignitaries from Bhutan, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and seniors from all member countries, and my colleagues from Executive Committee and seniors from JUAN of Nepal. It was a great morning until early afternoon of today, and probably the SAFJUAA executive has met already and then decided this resolution 2023. And my responsibility to is sharing SAFJUAA resolution among all member countries and the officials, executive authorities of SAFJUAA. So please allow me to read out the resolution. SAFJUAA resolution 2023. Following are the points of SAFJUAA resolution 2023 at the end of virtual meeting 2023 this morning. The points will be read out. I'm going to read out this point, and I think I'm sure the executive has already decided, so that everyone has a consent on this resolution so far as I have known. Number one is SAFJUAA virtual meeting and physical meeting will be organized every year in alternate with each other. Every year there will be a SAFJUAA meeting. This year virtually, and next year will be the physically. This is kind of like number one resolution. And supplementary of number one are every year in the month of July to September, in between July to September, seems like that. A seminar will be conducted simultaneously every year under a specific theme related to Japan and South Asia. SAFJUAA Japanese language speech contest will be conducted simultaneously every year, virtually or physically, alternatively or once in every 2 years physically, or if virtual contest is not feasible. Organizing a host will be in alphabetical order in every year. It's kind of like SARC, Bhutan, Bangladesh like. Organizing host will be responsible for overall management build, including a financial aspect. Didn't go down. Next year, physical meeting will be organized in 2024, July, September, and will be hosted by alphabetically. I think that we could mention later on. An executive committee will be formed. Executive committee will be responsible for regular activities of SAFJUAA. It will make vision, mission, aims, objective, and future plans and strategy. President of next host Alumni EC Executive Committee will be the president of SAFJUAA Executive Committee. General Secretary of the same Executive Committee, next host Alumni will be the General Secretary of SAFJUAA. If President and General Secretary belong to the same Alumni, it will be much easier for them to host as a host probably. All the presidents of the member Alumni will be the member of Executive Committees. If so facto, probably I think we should write somewhere else. If so facto. So regular Executive Committee meeting will be organized virtually as per its convenience. Our website of SAFJUAA will be created, okay, including its history, aims, objective, and future plans, including brief introduction of all member societies, association. I think some edited needed. Establishment of Japanese Alumni in all the SAARC countries as well, Maldives and Afghanistan. There will be it means that SAFJUAA will take initiative to establish a Japanese Alumni Association in Maldives and Afghanistan too, where it seems like that so far that they do not have Alumni Association. That will be another assignment or strategy or plans for SAFJUAA. Publication of e-magazine of SAFJUAA also here, including those papers presented in an annual meeting. These are the resolution made by Executive Committee meeting held before this event. I hope every distinguished ladies and gentlemen representing each institution association of each countries like Alumni Association will consent on this resolution. If every one of you are okay, so please allow us to proceed with the applaud by you yourself digitally. We can just show up our claps, that if any things needed to correct, probably it was decided by Executive Committee, so that there is no any reservation. So I'm done with this responsibility to share this resolution. And thank you so much once again. It was a great morning to see every great people, though virtually. Thank you so much. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you, Professor Casey, for reading out the resolution and outlining the next step. I would like to reiterate one more time that all the president and the representative of SAFJUAA member countries will agree and endorse this resolution that's been read by Professor Khadka just now. The resolution will be shared with all the presidents and vice president of each SAFJUAA member country for their digital signatures after this symposium. So yeah, we are coming towards the concluding remarks. Next, I have the pleasure of inviting Ms. Sato Mayuko, the Information and Cultural Secretary from the Embassy of Japan in Kathmandu, Nepal, for the concluding remarks. Ms. Sato has been with us throughout the symposium today, and we eagerly look forward to hearing from her. And also, before or after, as per your convenience, Ms. Sato, we would like to try one more time to play the recorded message of His Excellency Ambassador of Japan, Mr. Kikuta Yutaka, Japanese Embassy in Kathmandu. Thank you. Over to you, Ms. Sato.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for giving me a time forward. But at first, I would like to try to play Ambassador's video. Is my screen shared to you? Not yet.
Not yet.
Is it now?
Yes.
It's shared
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Good morning, all the participants. It is my pleasure to say a few words at this event. As mentioned in the introduction, I am currently the ambassador of Japan to Nepal. However, in the past, I served as a director in charge of South Asia at the headquarters of Foreign Ministry in Tokyo, and also served as a DCM at the Embassy of Japan in New Delhi, India. Therefore, I feel myself close to South Asian countries, including Nepal. In this regard, I am particularly pleased to be able to send this message to you at this meeting of South Asian Federation today. I understand that many of the members of each alumni association once studied in Japan on scholarship provided by the Japanese government, commonly known as mixed scholarship. The mainstay of Japan's technical assistance to South Asian countries has been education. This is because the core of our assistance philosophy is human resources development is the foundation of nation building. Now, many of you are contributing to the development of your country by taking back the knowledge and skills you have acquired in Japan. It is exactly the embodiment of this philosophy. At the same time, I should mention that each alumni member is a bridge of long-standing friendship between Japan and your country. What's more, it is quite noteworthy that alumni associations in South Asia countries can strengthen the relationship to each other through such an occasion as what we have today. I sincerely hope that today's virtual symposium, hosted by SAFJUAA in Nepal, will be a great success. Mutual understanding and ties among your alumni association in all relevant countries will be further strengthened through fruitful online communication and exchange of information. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sato. Now your turn. Thank you.
Yes. I don't know how to get back.
Stop sharing.
I don't know how to get back.
There is,
Yes,
yeah,
start.
you've already
Back?
got
Okay.
back. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I think basically the message from our ambassador is the message from the embassy. So I just would like to add some points as an cultural secretary. I'm delighted that you are all here today for the SAFJUAA online meeting after the several years gap. For me personally, it has been very useful to learn about the activities of each alumni association in other South Asian countries and their suggestions also. For example, actually, I first learned that in some country, alumni association is also responsible for Japanese language education in each country. Or in other countries, JICA trainees are included in the same organization as Alumni Association, which is a little different from Nepal. But now that I finally could understand why SAFJUAA has been conducted Japanese speech contest. And however, it seems to be a common challenge in all countries to encourage members to have more interest and more participations. So I hope that through these meetings like today, each alumni association can continue to exchange information and opinions on what each alumni association is doing, and make use of this information to enhance activities of each of their associations. I wish every alumni association all the best in the future activities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sato. Finally, we were able to hear His Excellency message at the end. Thank you so much for trying so hard to get it to us. So we've almost come towards the end of this symposium. As you approach the end, I now invite Dr. Jeevan Bhattrai, the General Secretary of Japanese University Alumni Association of Nepal, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, Chairperson of this SAFJUAA Meet and Symposium and President of JUAN, Guest of Honor, Director on behalf of Nepal of SARC Secretariat Kathmandu, representative of the Embassy of Japan to Nepal, speaker of both technical sessions from the member countries of SAFJUAA, distinguished guests, delegates, fellow alumni, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am deeply honored to express my gratitude on behalf of SAFJUAA Symposium Organizing Committee. This gathering, although it is virtual, makes a momentous occasion. I pass my warm thanks to all participants for their significant presence. First and foremost, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Praveen Shrestha, the chairperson of this symposium, and the president of JUAN for his vision and leadership in making this event a reality. Our heartfelt appreciation goes to our chief guest and guest of honor, Mani Ratna Sharma, director on behalf of Nepal for SARC Secretariat, and Ms. Mayuko Sato, Cultural Secretary of Embassy of Japan to Nepal. Similarly, I want to extend thanks to His Excellency Ambassador of Nepal to of Japan to Nepal, Mr. Kikuta Yutaka, for his valuable message. A sincere thanks you all the speakers of both technical sessions representing the Japanese University Alumni Association of Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka. Your presentation have brought forth a wealth of knowledge and diverse perspective on Japan and its relation with South Asia. A special mention goes to Dr. Dinesh Muju, former president of JUAN, for his insightful summary of both sessions. This event would not be possible without the collective efforts and dedication of organizing committee. A special thanks to all for your hard work behind the scene that brought us all together today. I would like to express my deep appreciation to our technical supporter, NREN also. To all fellow alumni and distinguished participants, your enthusiastic engagement has been the heart of this event. Your presence and active participation have fueled our discussion and interactions, making this symposium truly remarkable. As we bring this symposium to a close, may this symposium serve as a stepping stone for continued collaboration and learning among SAFJUAA fellows. Thank you, Dr. Savitri, for handling all today very effectively. Last but not least, I once again extend my heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you. Your collective contribution have made this symposium successful. Thank you very much. Domo arigatou gozaimashita.
Thank you, Dr. Vatrai, for your vote of thanks. So now we are wrapping up today's session. So thank you everyone for being a part of this remarkable gathering and making the South Asian Federation of Japanese University Alumni Association virtual symposium a resounding success. Personally, this is a great learning experience for me. I learned quite a lot from all of you, especially the presenters today. We have today's symposium recorded. We will share the recording to all the SAFJUAA family so that those who couldn't make it today, they will also have an opportunity to go through the recorded video. We eagerly anticipate the 11th SAFJUAA convening next year. We will hear the location of the country very soon. Until then, please take care, stay connected, and continue the valuable efforts in further strengthening the bonds between Japan and the South Asia. Wishing you all a fantastic day today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much once again. And despite all the efforts to bring our friends from Afghanistan and Maldives, we really failed. I was having a communication till this morning with our Afghani friend. He had promised me to join, but probably he had some technical difficulties, so he could not join us. But hopefully next year we'll have a complete SAFJUAA with all the 8 member countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
In our souvenir, we'll try to publish the opinions of all sub members, please.
Yes.
Thank you.